Congratulations, BET.
Yo, 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 yo. MC Old School Tailgate Boogie Down, y'all. On the East Coast. Representing black college football on BET. And they got me running, y'all. Got me running all over. Got me running up in Brooklyn. Got me running all in Manhattan. Got me running all uptown in Harlem. Now I'm about to run to the Meadowlands. That's right. Hampton University, Morgan State. About to battle in the Urban League Football Classic. Gonna be a whole lot of running going on today, y'all. Whole lot of running. Lonzo Coleman, Ardell Daniels, both serving you up 100 yards each on your plate. How can you stop them? How can you drop them? What will be their fate? Don't forget about the boys coming down from Morgan State. I'm talking about y'all. Craig Nelson running through you. Action Jackson running by you. Four top backs and a tough meat act about to do the thing. Don't forget about the battle of the bands. Bringing it bang. About to do their thing. Clang is popping. Cymbals dropping. Hot stepping. Two HBCs in NYC right here on BET. Ah.
All day here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Giant Stadium for the New York Urban League Football Classic, Hampton University and Morgan State University right here on BET. Hampton's Pirates come in unbeaten at 3-0. Morgan State's Bears coming in at 1-2. Hello again. Welcome to our continuing coverage in our 25th anniversary season of bringing you the best in black college football here on BET. I'm Eric Clemens. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday with us. We should have a great matchup for you in this Urban League Classic. The Hampton Pirates, of course, have won 10 straight regular season games, and they have really controlled their MEAC Conference series, with Morgan State University winning 8 of the last 10 meetings between the two. In 7 of those games, Hampton has averaged a whopping 38 points per game. I bring in now my broadcast partner. I call him the ambassador of black college football, Jay Walker. And Jay, Hampton's won 10 straight regular season games for a few reasons. They play great on defense, great on special teams, and they have a half-back tandem second to none in the country.
Yeah, and that's the A-team. When you talk about the A-team, you're talking about Alonzo Coleman and Ardell Daniels. And they'll be the first ones to tell you, hey, we get all the publicity, but the key is we've got a successful line. And when you talk about the Hampton line, you're talking about Nevin McCaskill, Tim Sylvester, Charles Huff, Gerald Golightly, and Brandon Walker. And what they do is they run the football using a successful zone blocking scheme. Put a body on a body and let Coleman and Daniels' vision take them to the promised land for big game-breaking runs like you see right here.
Now, Morgan State says, hey, hold on, guys. Wait a minute up there at BET in the booth. Hey, those guys, the A-team, they're pretty good. But they're not even the best in the conference, because Morgan State's Bears feel they have the best dynamic duo and halfback in the conference and the country.
Yeah, and that's why we're going to play the game today, to see if the Bears tandem of Jason Jackson and Craig Nelson can match the hype that the A-team gets. Now, you talk about the offensive line for Morgan State. You're talking about Wesley Charles, Chris Cousins, James Key, Dwayne Delaney, and DeQuay Shoulders. Now, what do they do? Their bigger line, they've got more athleticism. Look at the spot channel here on Chris Cousins. What he will do is pull around the corner, and before you can get to the running back, Jason Jackson, you got to go through 6'4", 330-pound Chris Cousins. So a little bit more athletic line, but they both come up with successful running games, and it's going to be a barn burner here today.
Absolutely. We're going to see running football. If you like it, keep it tuned right here to BET. Now, of course, the Urban League Classic about a lot more than just football. It's about good food. It's about the battle of the bands. It's about everything. We'll get you set for the opening kickoff here on BET in just a moment.
Today's New York Urban League Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 nonstop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Pontiac. 10 models, each one designed for action.
Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, for the New York Urban League Football Classic, the 35th edition. 73 degrees, sunny, wind out of the east at 10. The field turf, everything, perfect conditions for tailgating, which they're doing a lot of outside, Jay Walker. And, of course, for what should be an interesting football game between Joe Taylor's defending black national champion Hampton Pirates and the Morgan State Bears, who want to make a name for themselves in the MEAC and building an up-and-coming program under Coach Hill. Yeah, Coach Hill, I mean, he's the third winningest coach all time in Morgan State history. The good news is he's third on the charts, but the bad news is that's only 19 victories. But considering the team had only won 5 games in 3 years previous to his arrival, means that this program is on its way up. Calvin Bannister, 19th in all of Division I AA in kickoff returns, averaging 27.9 yards. Of course, he's the MEAC conference leader in that category. One of the reasons Hampton's so effective this year, the play of every one of their special teams units. This one right down the middle to Bannister at his 9. Bannister gets the corner and has some room along the near side, and Bannister still on his feet out across the 40 to the 44-yard line. Another excellent return before he was brought down by Jarrell Guyton. 36 yards on the return, so that'll pad the average a little bit for Bannister as Hampton's offense takes over. 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line. Great field position for Princeton Shepard, who leads them 2 touchdowns and an interception so far this year. And Princeton Shepard is finally entrenched as the starting quarterback for the Hampton University Pirates for the rest of the season. We'll get you the backs and offensive line and introduce you to the Morgan State defense in just a few moments. Alonzo Coleman, the lone setback behind Shepard. And Coleman will get it, trying to go off the right side. He'll get the corner, but not too many yards, maybe 2, as he gets forced out of bounds. The backs and receivers for Hampton University, well, the A-team, part of it, Coleman, the starting tailback, along with the big fella Curtis Lewis in front of him. Faulkner, McDaniel is a guy to watch for on the offensive line. You've met them already, McCaskill, Sylvester, Huff, Golightly, and Walker. Get to the Morgan State defense in a bit. Hampton calling the plays at the line of scrimmage. They have not used the huddle so far yet on their first drive of the game. 2-yard gain for Coleman on that play. Now up the play fake and roll out. Shepard keeping it, throwing downfield. Wide open is his wide receiver, and he's got Derek Faulkner, the 6'4", 210-pound junior, first down yardage. That'll be spotted at the 41-yard line. Give him 14 yards on the play. Let's meet the Morgan State defense. Temi Omatade is the leader along the defensive line. Ellison Zollakoffer and Young. Reggie Holmes, Lamar West, Darius Leak, the leader in the linebackers. And in the secondary, Larry Choo-Choo Davis is the leader of that unit. Ardell Daniels now in the game. And Daniels, part of that A-team, taking it. Not much room there off the right side. He's stacked up behind the line of scrimmage as the linebacker Reggie Holmes, one of the people in there to make the tackle. You mentioned the fact that Hampton hasn't lined up underneath in the huddle yet. Part of the reason is they come out and script their first 15 plays of the game. They've had some success doing it throughout the season. It's kind of a way to keep your offensive in momentum, to get that early momentum on your offensive side of the ball. Holmes had some help from Jeremy Zollakoffer, number 51, the defensive tackle, stopping Daniels for a slight loss, giving him a loss of 1 second and 11. And now the pitch. A lot of room along the near side. That's Coleman. Coleman cutting back. Coleman gonna score! What a beautiful play. What a beautiful play. This is the Big Apple, New York City. We say the Stars try to make it in the big city, and Alonzo Coleman gets this dive option, and he does it all by himself at the end of this run. 42 yards for the touchdown. One more look at it. Good job by Shepard of getting rid of the ball quickly, and you can't have a linebacker trying to tackle Coleman in that much open space. And then once you break the line of scrimmage, it's just a matter of letting the athleticism take over, and he knows how to find his way into the end zone. Nice blocking help from Derek Faulkner at the wide receiver spot as well, creating that 42-yard run. The extra point is up and good. Patarini hitting that one. So, Hampton University, lightning striking here in New Jersey. They take a 7-0 lead on their first possession. They'll kick it to Morgan State when we come back.
On this job, you notice things, like this new Steak Fanatic pizza. It's a big hit with the guys.
Steak Fanatic pizza. Mm-hmm. Man fuel. Cool.
Hey, hurry up! Only 23 figurines left, Hank! They're statues!
There's statues.
Introducing Domino's new Steak Fanatic Pizza. Angus steak piled on even more steak, smothered in cheese. Buy a medium for just $9.99 and heap on even more Angus steak for just $2. Hit the door. It's Domino's new Steak Fanatic Pizza.
Nothing outperforms Gillette M3 Power Nitro. Push the button and feel the boost in performance. Gillette's battery-powered motor sends micropulses to the patented Power Glide blades. Get unsurpassed comfort and the world's best shave. M3 Power blows away the competition. You'll be blown away or Gillette will give you your money back, guaranteed. Try Gillette M3 Power, the world's best shave, or your money back.
Queen Bee holds court for a BET exclusive. At last, the naked truth is revealed. Testimony. Lil Cam. Tuesday at 7:30.
Would you like to win a free PSP?
Oh, yeah.
You're in luck. Simply text a message with the word music to 52020 and win. Get credits as part of your monthly music plan and enter for a chance to win. It's easy. Download the hottest music news right on your cell phone and stay informed with the latest releases from your favorite star or band. Do it now. Text music to 52020 to get the hottest music news and win a free PSP. For PSP sweepstake details, go to jumbodiscount.com.
On October 8th, it's the rematch of the greatest lightweight fight ever. Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. Their first bout was an epic war.
What a left hook by Castillo!
The fight of the millennium.
What a combination by Corrales!
One of the greatest fights of all time.
Unbelievable action!
Can you handle it again? Corrales versus Castillo 2 plus more. Saturday, October 8th, live on DirecTV pay-per-view. Don't miss it on Channel 122. Corrales versus Castillo 2. Where will you be when history repeats itself?
Hampton University striking first on their first possession. Another look at it.
Watch them option off of the defensive end, Anthony Young there. Shepard realizes that Young commits to him, pitches the ball to his playmaker, Alonzo Coleman. Great downfield blocking by Derek Faulkner. And you see the Hampton wide receivers getting busy, blocking downfield, springing Coleman to the pay dirt. You wonder how you get a 1,000-yard rusher. You got to have great vision. And, the key with a great running back is you can't get tackled one-on-one. You never let the first guy make the tackle on you. And that's why Coleman's such a special running back. You see, he made the first and the second tackler miss him. And when you don't have two people tackling as a team, one-on-one, you can't bring these running backs down on both sides of the football.
Jerry Jones and Jai Wilson back deep to receive this kick. And this one fielded at the 8. And they don't get it back out to the 20. Morgan State's offense will take over. Joe Smith on the tackle there as he brings down Aaron Moore. Byron Selby, your starting quarterback. Except for the touchdown to interception ratio, he's had a pretty solid go of it as a starting quarterback for Coach Donald Hill-Ely, leading this offense. And they had an explosion last week here on BET against Savannah State with 55 points.
But he's just a sophomore, and the more snaps he gets, the better he will get. Sitting behind the Offensive Player of the Year, Bradshaw Littlejohn, for 3 years didn't help out, but as he grows, he'll become a good quarterback in the conference.
And they give to the lone setback that time for very little game. That was Nelson, Craig Nelson, getting the start in this one today. And let's take a look at the backs and receivers. Jackson's generally the starter with the H-back spinner, 300-pounder. Dickens is the big play man at the wideout spot, but Roderick Wolf can come down with some big plays as well. This offensive line is huge. Charles Cousins, Key, Bradley, and Shoulders, they can move some people out of the way and get that running game going. We'll meet the Hampton defense in a bit. Jason Jackson now in the game as the lone setback. Spinners in motion. Selby's going to keep it on the rollout. In some trouble, and down he goes. Maybe at the original line of scrimmage. We have a late flag down on the play at about the 32-yard line as well. And let's see how they sort it out.
Holding. Number 1 on a defense. 10-yard penalty. Result, first down.
Traveris Bain on the holding penalty against Hampton, and that is one of the things that Coach Taylor talked about. Hampton been really hounded by penalties all year. They have over 100 penalty yards in their last 2 games, 169 last Thursday against A&T. And Coach Taylor wants that to change.
Yeah, and that's not a typical sign of a Joe Taylor coach team. The reason why they're so good, solid defense, solid offense, great special team, and they don't get penalized a lot.
Dickens in motion. This is Jason Jackson off the left side, and Jackson gets over the original line of scrimmage. Give him 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. One of the guys in there on the tackle was Marcus Dixon, who's been nursing an injured ankle. Had missed the last couple of games, but he's got it back to almost 100%. So it'll be 2nd down and 8. Jackson, a guy who had only 59 yards rushing coming into Savannah State, then puts up a school record 251. That pads all the averages, averaging 6.7 yards coming into this game every time he touches the football on a run. Out of the shotgun, Selby. Now a little delay play. Jackson cannot get out of the tackle that time, and meeting him is the middle linebacker extraordinaire, Justin Durant. Here's the defensive line for Hampton University. It's a good one. Langford, Massey in the middle, Dixon and Littlejohn, Foy, Durant, of course, the Conference Defensive Player of the Year last year, and Dugan, the linebackers, and a hard-hitting secondary, Whitehurst, Fair, Bannister, and Michael West. So it'll be 3rd down and 9, and Byron Selby working out of the shotgun. 2 receivers split to the near side. Threw that one maybe a little bit behind Dickens, but it hit off the hands. All right, quarterback with your wide receivers hits the hand, you're supposed to bring it in, right?
Yeah, but on certain routes, when you have a curl pattern there and you know the defensive back is sitting on the outside, you can't throw the ball to the outside. You got to take it to the inside. So what Selby didn't do there, he threw the ball to the outside right where the defensive back was, making the throw too tough. Now, this is one of the things you can't afford to do if you're Morgan State. You got Marquay McDaniel back there, who's leading the nation in punt return average with over 20 yards per punt return.
That's a short, low-line drive kick, so they kind of keep it away from number 2. 30-yard punt with no return, and I think Coach Hill will take that. Today's coaches' quotes are brought to you by Pontiac. 10 models, each one designed for action. Well, that move you just saw by Coach Hill says that they don't want to get into a shootout with this Hampton University team. It's one that they don't think they can win.
What it had been in the past. So, we respect the 14 points they're scoring. We respect the talent that they have. We know they're talented enough to score more. But what we're trying to do is make sure that we can keep them or less than that 14 that they're averaging scoring and disallow the points they're scoring on special teams.
Shepard off play action, throws it to the near side and finds his receiver, Derek Faulkner, 6'4" junior. Comes down with that one, and he caught it in front of Brandon Wells, it looked like.
And that's what Derek Faulkner has to do. You see the play action here just to find a way to get Shepard away from the pocket. They know Morgan's going to bring pressure. But when you got a big target like Faulkner, 6'4", 220 pounds, you want to be able to throw the ball high, and he has to be able to go up and make that catch play after play.
2nd down and 5, and this is Daniels getting to the outside. Daniels breaking into the secondary across midfield and down to the 41-yard line. Give him 15 on the play. Ardell Daniels averaging 3.9 yards of carries with a couple touchdowns, and he gets the corner on this one.
And this is what you talk about. When you do the zone blocking, just clog up, block your area, and you've got a running back like Daniels or Coleman with the great vision to find the hole to the outside. The play was designed to go inside, but they had vision, and they put a body on a body, and Daniels did a good job of breaking outside of the pocket.
Reggie Holmes and Brandon Wells on the tackle, but not after he picked up 15 yards and a 1st down. Shepard maybe changing the play at the line of scrimmage. We have a couple flags down, though. And it'll be
dead ball. Prior to the snap, false start. Number 84, offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains 1st down.
That was Weston Hill, a 6'6", 257-pound junior, moving a little bit before the snap. So 1st and 15 for Hampton University. Pitch play again, plenty of room. Coleman getting the corner, and Coleman getting it almost down to 1st down yardage. Give him 14 on the play. Joe Taylor, we spoke to him a little bit earlier, and of course Hampton University making a lot of regular visits to this New York Urban League Football Classic, and he says it's an advantage for his players.
If you come here, you will at least get an opportunity to play in some of these venues, and you know, give you a chance to take your program on the road to where alumni are. And then this one is so special because it's the granddaddy of them all, and more importantly, you know, some of the proceeds from this game goes towards helping some of the underprivileged in the 5 boroughs of New York. So that alone makes it exciting, and the young men, they do enjoy it.
Have an injury down on the field. Lamar West, the outstanding linebacker of Morgan State, down on the field, and Jay, I saw him flexing that right hand. Might be a shoulder stinger or something. Don't want to play doctor from way up here, but he had an outstanding game last week against Savannah State. He was all over the field, and that would be a big loss if the 6'2", 235-pound sophomore cannot get back on the field.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that just finds the football, and if they have any chance at stopping this Hampton Pirate running game today, they're going to need West to get healthy quickly.
Michael Veit, the defensive coordinator for Morgan State, looking on. And we hope to update that injury situation with Lamar West. Be back with more of the first quarter. Hampton running the ball well so far. Come back. Lamar West able to get off the field under pretty much his own power. Hampton's drive continuing, 1st and 10 from, call it, the 30-yard line. Jimmy Hester was the man in motion there. And there is Ardell Daniels breaking into the secondary and give Daniels about 12 more yards and another first down. And Jay Walker, Hampton University really controlling this line of scrimmage and getting that run game established.
Yeah, it seems like Morgan's trying to deter Hampton from running by just putting 8 people close to the line of scrimmage. But when you've got a zone blocking scheme, you really don't worry about number counts. You just worry about what side of the field you're going to run to. And take a look. You got the big block there by the fullback. You always like that when you get Curtis Lewis involved. And he's a fullback / offensive guard, 6 feet, 284 pounds, and one of those hybrid.
3 carries for 26 yards for Daniels so far. And here's Daniels again fighting his way inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Of course, last week against North Carolina A&T, Hampton's Pirates scored the first 4 times they touched the ball, and they look like they're well on their way to trying to duplicate that fact again this week.
Yeah, they come out. That shows you how good a great coaching staff that Coach Taylor's put together. Anytime you can put your initial game plan together and it works on the first 4 drives of the game, or 5 consecutive opening drives of the game if you count the one today, that means you're doing some proper coaching down there and great game plan.
Alonzo Coleman is the deep back in the I formation, and he'll get it. Coming off the left side, did not have much room, maybe got a yard on the play before he was brought down by Choo-Choo Davis, coming up from that strong safety position, one of the leading tacklers on this Morgan State defense.
Choo-Choo's going to have to play big today. He's probably their best tackler out of all the secondary, as well as the linebackers as well. No slight on them. He's a solid tackler when you're playing a team that's going to run the ball as often as Hampton is today. The strong safety has to make plays.
96 yards on 8 carries already for Hampton's runners. On 3rd down. Trying to bounce it outside and cannot. And the middle linebacker, Reggie Holmes, comes in and gets Coleman in the backfield to thwart that drive, perhaps.
Great job by Reggie Holmes of playing small. What he did was hide behind his defensive line there, and Coleman actually couldn't see the angle in which Holmes was coming from.
And the All-American Andrew Paterini going to come in and attempt what will be a 32-yard field goal from the left hash mark. And we saw him hitting from 50 consistently at practice yesterday. Paterini, plenty of leg on it, and it's good. Right down the middle, and Coach Hill would have rather had it be a little bit off the mark, but instead Hampton has scored on its first 2 possessions, and they lead 10-0. 29th career field goal for Paterini, tying a Hampton University school record. They do have a solid kicking game as well on the special team. No real weaknesses in that special teams area for Hampton.
Yeah, normally when you find top 10 teams in any program around the country, you're not going to see any glaring weaknesses that step out.
Our rapper, our superstar, our man about town and about Giant Stadium is Joe Torre. Joe, where you at?
What's up, my 2 compadres up in the booth? King the vendor, he gonna hook me up. I'll show you what I get you later.
Jeffrey Jones.
All right, I'll be back, y'all. You deal? I'm gonna get a deal. Get my deal. I'm gonna get my deal.
It wouldn't be New York if you weren't trying to get a deal.
Jeffrey Jones mishandled that one in the end zone and smartly kept it right there. It'll be a touchback at 1st and 10 for Morgan State on its own 20-yard line.
Very important drive here early in the football game for Morgan State. You know, Coach Hill alluded to the fact that we can score, but we don't know if we have enough bullets to fire round for round with Hampton University. So right now the offense at least needs to step up and put some points on the board on this drive so the defense doesn't lose confidence.
Byron Selby a couple bullets behind, now trailing 10-0 here in the first quarter. Spinner in motion and Selby off play action. Going deep. And right there, stride for stride in coverage, was Michael West. He led the MEAC with 19 passes defended last year. And West, excellent position on that deep ball.
Yeah, you saw Michael West going against Morgan's home run hitter on offense, who was Kelvin Dickens, and you figure that was a great coverage there, but you got to see him let Dickens run. Dickens he comes in with over 20 yards per reception on the offensive end. Put it out there, let him run. He doesn't catch 5 or 10-yard routes. He catches bombs, so don't go for the jump ball situation. Put some air under it and let Dickens run underneath it.
Two receivers split to the bottom of your screen, one out to the far side. And Nelson is the lone back with Selby out of the shotgun, and we get a little movement from Wesley Charles, the left tackle, and that'll be false start.
March to the snap. False start, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, it remains. Second down.
I'd like to remind you that today's New York Urban League Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 nonstop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country. So second down and 15 after the penalty, and again Selby out of the shotgun with Nelson his lone setback. Selby, quick pattern, gets Dickens, and Dickens out across the 20 and brought down at the 23-yard line. And he's brought down by Justin Durant, the middle linebacker, after the 8-yard gain. And Durant all over the field.
At one point that, we talk about Hampton, everybody gets fascinated with great offenses. I mean, they averaged 43 points a game last year. This defense took it upon themselves to challenge themselves to try and become the #1 defense in the nation. And they're off to a great start. They're number 5 right now in total defense in all of 1AA. So they're doing a good job schematically. And this is the Hampton defense that's much improved from a year ago.
Picked up 8 yards on that quick pass play, and now 3rd down and 7. Selby rolling out in some trouble, and there's the middle linebacker, and the ball is loose. And Nelson picked it up and was really flattened by one of his own teammates, but that one was blown up by the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year, Justin Durant, coming in to really disrupt things before Selby could really figure out what happened in the backfield.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where Selby has to get some more experience. Realize you're not going to get anything out of the play, so just get rid of the football. You'll see him here. Once he realized the play is starting to break down, he's trying to do too much. You can't leave that ball out there. And then he was looking for somebody to throw the football to. When you got a whole body full of Pirates covering you like a drape, you got to get rid of the football and hold on to it. You can't try and do too much on a dead play there, and you see the Pirate defense just swarming to the football.
Marcus Dixon was the one who came in, knocked it loose, and here's a line drive kick. Marquay McDaniels, Marquay fields it at his 50, and McDaniel kicking his way inside the 40 to the 37-yard line, a 40-yard punt and a 13-yard return off the punt of Thomas Beats. Hampton University in great shape again and trying to add to a 10-point lead. First quarter, and Joe Taylor's Hampton University Pirates leading Morgan State 10-0 in great field position at the 37-yard line after the punt return of Marquay McDaniel. And Donald Ely, knowing his team is in a little bit of trouble right here if they cannot get a defensive stop. Ardell Daniels, the deep back in the I formation. And McDaniel in motion to the far side. Here's Daniels. Breaking into the secondary, and Daniels gets first down yardage before he was smacked down hard. And he was down by contact before fumbling the ball. Darius Leaks, the transfer linebacker from UConn, laid the lumber, but not after Daniels got a first down.
Yeah, look at the great job of Daniels of making himself small to get through the hole. You see him jump through the hole with a high step, staying low to the ground, and then he's clearly down here by contact when he stripped the ball out of their Leaks. But Daniels got that little extra special knowledge of how to get those extra yards.
Hampton's rushers have 10 carries for 101 yards already in this game. We still have 5:28 to go in the first quarter. Daniels, the lone setback, takes a late pitch, and boy, is he blown up in the backfield.
Choo-choo. There goes choo-choo. It's like, when you got a strong safety, that's a great tackler. It's almost like you're playing basketball. One-on-one coverage, man-to-man. Hey, I got you wherever you go. You come on this side of the field, I've got to be there to get you. And you see Choo-Choo Davis doing a good job of filling from his strong safety position. He's kind of wishing that Princeton would pitch the ball. If you're in great defensive position, you're hoping that the quarterback does something to come your way.
Choo-Choo has just been a playmaker for his entire career at Morgan State, and he makes a big one there. Might have been one that turns the drive around and stalls at a loss of 6 yards on that play. Alonzo Coleman, the lone back there with Shepard, who shifts into the shotgun. Shepard hits his man, and that is Andre Jones, and Andre gets down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line for 8 yards. Now, Jay, your keys to the game for Hampton University.
Find your offensive rhythm. Last year, you averaged 43 yards a game. This year, it's taking you a while to get into it, to get back up there, but they're starting to find the rhythm now. And you've got to make Brian Selby beat you on defense. Don't let the running back tandem of Jackson and Nelson do it. Make Selby be the one to beat you today if you get beat.
Shepard 3 for 3 for 27 yards, working out of the shotgun with both Coleman and Daniels. And the split backfield behind him out of the shotgun. Going for it all, and he had Marquay McDaniel breaking open for the corner, but overshot him a little bit. And we also have a flag on the play. Looks like it might be in the area of holding against the offense. We'll see.
I think they should have caught him for some contact downfield, but it might have been an offensive holding.
Number 62 on offense. The penalties declined. 4th down.
Very smart to decline that penalty. You don't want to get an explosive offense, any opportunities at any extra down. Have your defense on as little field as possible. And you take a look at the holding there. Anthony Young, oh yeah, look at that. We caught you. He's got the jersey and everything else. He wasn't letting go, but hey, if you're going to hold, don't let go. That's what I used to tell my offensive line. If you're going to hold the guy, make sure you hold the guy.
41-yard attempt by Andrew Paterini, who is 1 for 1 in the game, and a little mix-up there on Hampton University's part. Didn't look like they got the entire field goal team on the field in time, so they have to burn a timeout.
And that's what just drives coaches crazy, because yesterday when they took the practice in the evening session, they have what you call a special teams call out. You call out every situation that could occur in the game. Onside kick team, hands team, field goal block. And when you don't show up for a field goal and you're on the field goal team, what are you thinking about?
And you could see the expression on Coach Taylor's face, now none too pleased with the lack of full participation from his field goal team in that.
And it's funny when you see Coach Taylor, I asked him, what goes through his mind looking on the other sideline, seeing Coach Hill Ely, who was a vital part to the success of the Hampton program coming up. And he said, hey, I love him like a son, but when he's the coach on the other side, he's just another coach on the other sideline. I got to beat him.
Coach Hill said pretty much the same thing when we spoke to him earlier this week. Log on to www.bet.com//BCF after today's game. Cast your vote for your favorite band of the week. Tune in next week for the winner of the Battle of the Bands coming up at halftime. You don't want to miss that. And Paterini picking it from 41. And he has got some kind of leg. 2 for 2 on the day. Hampton has scored on its first 3 possessions of the game, 1 touchdown, and a couple of Paterini field goals, which gives him the all-time school record with his 30th career field goal. So Hampton University with 3:51 to go in the first quarter, leading it 13-0, and that play by Choo-Choo Davis may be one that they can look back on if they can come back in this game and say, hey, you really saved us from possibly being down by 17.
Yeah, exactly, because if you're down by 17 points and you need 3 scores in order to get back in the game, being down by 13 means with 2 touchdowns, you're in the lead if the defense can hold. So that was a very important play, and let's see if the Morgan State offense can wake up. Thus far, they haven't shown it, and that's what happens a lot of times. You come out here, and let's not forget, Morgan State's off to a slow start. They're playing the #1 team in all black college football. So no matter what level of football you're talking about, high school, professional, college, when you're playing the #1 team, you're a little jittery early on, and you normally find out during the game around the second quarter, hey, we can play with these guys, and you stop fearing your opponent. Right now they're playing a little timid, like they're being intimidated by the reigning black college national champion.
Jeffrey Jones and Aaron Moore back deep to receive the Patarini kickoff. And it's coming to the near side. Looks like Jones. Across the 20 and up across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Did the ball pop out of there? I guess it did not. They're still fighting for it at the bottom of the pile after the 26-yard return. Last week's Battle of the Bands winner, Morgan State's magnificent marching machine in a very close vote over Savannah State. And remember, the Battle of the Bands, Morgan State trying to defend its weekly title, if you will, going up against Hampton University at halftime.
That's not last week's action right there. That's live in this stadium right now. This Hampton band's got it going on, and they beat Savannah State, but Morgan's another MEAC team, so the Morgan band saying, hey, let's see if you can knock out another MEAC band.
Jason Jackson, the lone setback behind Selby, and Jackson blown up in the backfield. Coming in there is the defensive tackle, Marcus Dixon, to blow that one up before it even got started.
Yeah, Marcus Dixon's a football player. I mean, he's one of those guys that, a lot of turmoil in terms of how he got to Hampton, but once he got to Hampton, he established himself as a football player. I mean, he's on the leadership council for this committee. Great student, great athlete. He's got a great build, 6'6", 252 pounds. And I was looking at him saying, wow, he could probably hold about 280 pounds on his frame. And if he keeps going at this rate, he'll be playing professional football on Sundays.
Morgan State rushing for -13 so far in this game. Selby flushed out of the pocket, gonna keep it, and Selby spins for positive yardage up to the 39-yard line. And Jay, let's take a quick look at your keys for Morgan State University to have a chance in this one.
Yeah, they've got to get their scoring defense, Morgan State. Right now, they're the worst team in terms of scoring defense in the conference. They give up on average of 30 points a game, and they're going against the #1 scoring team in the country, possibly. And then on the special team, they can't allow special teams to beat them. Don't let Marquay McDaniel return something on you. Don't get any kicks or punts blocked. You know that Hampton's got a great special teams unit. Don't let that be a factor in the outcome of this game.
On third down, Selby, not liking the personnel package in there, I believe, takes a timeout, and he's going to come over to talk to Coach Hill and sort things out over there. This is an important drive, of course, down by 13 late here in the first quarter. You got to get something happening to give your team some confidence, I should say. And speaking of confidence, I mean, rapper, bargaining for T-shirts. He's doing everything. Joe Torre. Joe, where you at now?
Eric and Jay, man, I've been to a lot of these tailgating things, East Coast versus the South and tailgating, and there's a difference. The difference is this is like a marketplace. This is more than just eating barbecue and tailgate. This is tailgating and get your market, get your shop on. You want purses, you want some underwear, you want some jewelry, you want some insert, got your T-shirt, you want socks, you want dolls, whatever you want. This is how they do it on the East Coast. Brooklyn is out, Harlem is out, all of New York is out. And, I see something for my wife I got to go grab, something for my kids I got to go grab. The difference between the South and the East Coast tailgating is, man, it's like shopping. Is anybody going in the game? Hey, can I get a deal on that? All right, see y'all later.
Yeah, I wonder if Joe even knows the score of the game.
Probably not. Doesn't seem to matter. He had a nice entourage following him and staying on television as well behind him during that thing. And Selby in some trouble, flushed out of pocket, plenty of room. And Selby's going to get forced out of bounds by one of the linebackers, Kinsley Dugan. After he picked up first down yardage, however, he got 8 on the play.
Good job there. Selby's got some athleticism. I mean, he can move around. And you see when the ball snaps here, you've got to have that clock in his head. 1,001, 1,002. Now you should take off. You should know you got to run someplace. Protect that football. He's holding it out there a little bit too loosely. You're not a running back. Keep it close to the body. See, that ball just slipped out his hands right there close to the sideline. Protect that football once you break containment. After you get the first down, just look for a place to slide. This turf is nice and soft. It's not going to hurt.
Kendall Langford almost had a sack back in the backfield, but Selby got away from it, picked up the first down on the play fake. Going for it all. Wolf has it inside the 10-yard line. He's pushed out of bounds at the 7. 45 yards on the play.
Good job by Roderick Wolf. He set him up nicely with the double move. And more importantly, a great pass by Brian Selby. Once he got outside the pocket, he gave his wide receiver an opportunity to come down with the reception. Take a look here at the double move. You're going to see Robert Wolfer. He's going to get off the ball, get 15 yards downfield, give him a little dead leg, then take off again. That one little freeze right there made the defensive back Michael West slow down for that one step. And nothing, I mean nothing, gives you confidence like a long completion downfield.
Check that, 46 yards on the reception down to the 7-yard line. Jason Jackson, the deep man in the backfield. And ahead of him is the H-back, Tyree Spinner. Jackson off the right side, met hard. And he may have picked up maybe one. We do have a flag down on the play, however. And Justin Durant, the middle linebacker, laid some lumber from that middle linebacking spot on that one.
Illegal motion, number 86 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
One of the problems with long completions with an inexperienced quarterback, a young quarterback, you get so caught up in the moment celebrating, you don't take the time to hurry up and get the play call from your coach on the sideline. By the time he tried to get up there and snap the ball, they had 2 seconds on the clock, and you had somebody going in motion. So young, inexperienced teams don't handle big plays that well. When we talk about an inexperienced team, this is the Morgan State team that only has 3 seniors on offense.
First and goal, spot the ball now at about the 12, and Jackson straight up the middle gets down inside the 10 before a host of white shirts are there to greet him, Durant being one of them. And you pointed out earlier before we went on the air, Morgan State is unbelievable in the red zone so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, not only do they score, but they put the ball in the end zone. You see, they've got 100% ratio, but they're 10 for 10. Those are 10 touchdowns. We're not talking field goals or anything. Hampton had some miscues early. We saw them in the game against Jackson State where they missed a field goal and they fumbled the ball in the red zone. But typically, when Morgan State gets inside the 20-yard line, they come away with 7 points on the board.
Morgan State fans on their feet. Jackson, the lone setback behind Selby, who's operating out of the shotgun. And a little delay and nowhere to go on that one is crashing through there. Melvin Massey from the defensive tackle spot and a couple other white shirts to slow that one down before it got started.
And when you've got a running game that likes to pull people and do a lot of misdirection, on the defensive end, you've really got to do defensive containment. Everybody has to know their assignment. Melvin Massey did a good job of not falling for the okey-doke in the backfield, knowing that he was responsible for that half of the field.
Inside 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. 2 receivers split to the bottom of your screen. Near side, Byron Selby operating out of the shotgun with Jason Jackson, the lone setback. Selby stepping up in the pocket. He's got a lot of room on the far side, and he will not make the end zone. He is bent like a pretzel back there. Marlon Fair coming up from the free safety spot, and Justin Durant, number 52, Johnny on the spot again. We've called his number a lot tonight.
I mean, you know, when he broke contain, it looked like he had a lot of room. But the speed that Justin Durant showed here in closing on the quarterback, he caught him from behind. Selby's not a slow guy, but Durant is one of these linebackers, 6'2", 225 pounds, but can run like a deer. And he tracked down that quarterback quicker than you could say. He's got a lot of room.
And we don't have a lot of time. In fact, we're out of it in the first quarter. That is the end of the first quarter of play. 13-0. The defending Black College national champions leading the Morgan State Bears will line up for a field goal when we come back in a second. Donald Hill Ely hoping to get on the scoreboard. James Meade has attempted only 1 field goal all season long. That one was blocked. So this will be his 2nd field goal attempt of the year, and it'll come from 28 yards from the near hash mark. And that is a block.
One thing we know about Hampton is they like to attack the football on special teams. They don't have what you call passive special teams. They've got aggressive special teams. Coming in this game, they knew that the Morgan State kicker had already had 1 block this year. You knew Coach Taylor was going to tell his special teams to go after the block.
And Bannister, a very talented cornerback and kick returner, limping off the field. A lot of penetration on that one. Looked like Alden Blizzard got his hand on it, the North Carolina transfer, defensive tackle.
That's a poor block. That's a poor job by the offensive line on the field goal protection unit there. I mean, Blizzard came through there untouched almost and had plenty of room to spare in that block.
Coleman is the lone setback with McDaniel in motion to the far side. And on the rollout, Princeton Shepard looking deep. Is it caught or intercepted? They say it is incomplete. Knocked away from him at the last possible second by Brandon Wells, as McDaniel looked like he had both hands on it for a second, but Wells came in and made a nice strip.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. Right now, it's going to be tough to get completions on that side of the field because they're in that shadow. You see, he's got a good look at it, but you see the shadows right there on the ground. Once that ball's up in the air, I know they were looking right in their eyes and got screened there. Good job of concentration trying to get to it, and he almost held on to it once it hit his shoulder pad, but I'm pretty sure he lost that ball in the sun for a second.
Brandon Wells in at that cornerback spot for Catlin Clark, who's had an excellent season but rolled an ankle last week. Alonzo Coleman is the lone setback with 3 receivers split out to the far side. On the draw. Plenty of room. And Coleman gets across midfield to the 48-yard line, giving 21 more yards.
You know, and this is why offensive linemen like blocking for Alonzo Coleman. You'll see Hampton's going to try and do a little counter trade here off of the draw action. And the offensive line, he's going to miss his block. You know, he gets too caught up in there. He's supposed to be the lead blocker on the outside. That's Gerald Golightly. He misses the linebacker, Reginald Holmes. But when you got a great running back like Alonzo Coleman, it takes more than just one guy to bring him down. So Coleman gets the big game while Golightly gets off easily for missing his block.
Coleman and Daniels in the I formation behind Shepard. Now they'll split as Shepard works out of the shotgun. Coleman 84 yards already and only 5 carries. Shepard in some trouble. Going to flip it away after he gets out of the pocket, but did they call him out of bounds first? They do.
Yeah.
They say he stepped out before he got that one away.
That actually may do him a favor because I think somebody threw a flag in terms of intentional grounding there as well, but if he stepped out, that should overrule that.
He was also outside the pocket as well. But if he stepped out of bounds, obviously, before he threw the ball, then the pass is moot. Let's check it out.
Look, he threw it before it was out of bounds.
He definitely threw it before he got it.
On the play, the passer was out of bounds when he released the ball. No men are considered downfield. Second down.
He got lucky there. It was a bailout because if it would have been a penalty, it would have been loss of down as well as that loss there. So Prince Shepard was bailed out there by the referee calling him out of bounds.
That wouldn't have moved.
Ely pretty satisfied with the, what you'll call it, an official sack on the play, a loss of about 6 as Shepard stepped out of bounds. Ardell Daniels, the lone setback behind him. The play fake, Shepard stepping up in the pocket, and he's got some room on the near side. Shepard down inside the 40, finally stepped out of bounds at the 37-yard line, and he showed some nice speed on that run.
Yeah, and he showed some great decision-making there. Came off the play-action fake. This is the difficult play-action fake for a right-handed quarterback, to get your shoulders back to the right, but the moment he saw that man-to-man coverage, that means nobody was there to attribute for the quarterback in coverage. He just took off running, and even if he hadn't got the first down, he would have put his team in a position to make an attainable third-down conversion.
Talking about the running game, today's trivia question brought to you by Jeep. Trail-rated capability only in a Jeep 4x4. The question, who is Hampton's all-time leading rusher? We'll have the answer for you a little bit later on. Ardell Daniels deep in the I formation, and he'll get the handoff. And he's met by the middle linebacker, Reggie Holmes, first, before a host of dark blue and orange jerseys bring him down. Today's first quarter stats brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Take a look at the numbers, and Hampton University pretty much in control in terms of doing what they like to do, keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's just explosiveness right there. 15 plays, and you got 13 points on the board, and you got 95 yards rushing the ball off of 15 total plays. That's including the pass. That's an explosive offense.
Alonzo Coleman is the lone setback. 2 receivers split to either side as Princeton Shepard appears to be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. McDaniel in motion and on the draw. Coleman, some more room, gets the corner. And Coleman lost his feet there as he tried to get one more corner. But out there on the defensive side was Herman Hayes to make sure he stayed down.
You know, that's respect. you know, for the running game of Hampton University. You know, they came out with a 4 wide receiver set, but the Morgan State Bears still kept 7 people in the box. So what did Hampton do? Hey, we're going to run the ball anyway because this is what we do. And you take a look at Coleman getting outside, making the first tackler miss again, like he always does. Just getting outside, even though there were 4 men, 4 linebackers, as well as 4 linemen in the box trying to stop the running game.
On 3rd down, 3 receivers split to the near side, and before we got it going, we have flags down on the play.
Dead ball. Prior to the snap. False start. Number 53, offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
That's Brandon Walker, the 6'3", 296-pound junior right tackle. Moving a little early, and another penalty to bog down Hampton a bit.
And one of the things that you wonder why the Pirate offense has struggled a little bit, when you don't have Jerome Mathis as a threat at wide receiver, you see different coverages. Last year, teams were scared to play man-to-man. You saw these basic vanilla zones. Well, now you're seeing teams they're not afraid to play man-to-man on the outside receivers. Not that they're not that good, but they just don't have that 4-1 speed that Mathis brought to the table.
Shepard looked like they might have been setting up a screen, but wide open down the middle is Ernie Lomax, this tight end. And Lomax gets down close to the 10-yard line. They'll spot it at the 12. 27 yards to the young man, 6'5", 221-pound sophomore, who was wide open in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and that's a blown coverage right there. You see they're trying to come with the blitz to get some pressure on the quarterback. Shepard does a good job of standing tall in the pocket. But when you've got man-to-man coverage, who's got him? I mean, he fell down there, 2 linebackers. You saw Michael West right there, or that was Lamar West, run right by him. Man-to-man coverage, you've got the tight end. How does he get so wide open?
Ardell Daniels, the deep back. And on the pitch, Daniels going to reverse his field, get inside the 10 to the 5, and down at the 1-yard line. That's just individual effort there.
That's just individual effort there, and the key to becoming a great running back is 2 things. You got to have great feet, and you got to have great vision. And on that run right there, Daniel showcased both. He had the feet to keep the feet moving and the wherewithal, and he had the vision to find the hole. Even though it opened up, it was a slow development play. He still had the vision to get upfield and find the open hole.
1st and goal. Daniels again, getting up the middle. Does he break the plane? Yes, says an official. Touchdown, Ardell Daniels. And Hampton University continues to dominate with its ground attack.
They went with the power eye backfield and ran the ball behind the big fullback / guard Curtis Lewis in the backfield. Daniels did a good job of following his lead fullback. You see the offensive line here. Let's see who wins the battle on the offensive line of scrimmage. And does he get it across? Yes, he does. It's a matter when the knee is going to go down. It's where's the ball position. In that case, when the knee was going down, the ball had broke the plane to the goal line.
Catarini true on the extra point, and now Hampton University in control. Still early 2nd quarter, leading Morgan State 20-0. They'll be kicking off to the Bears when we come back. Rewarded after some nifty footwork, getting them down close. They give it to him. 9 plays, 71 yards in 3 minutes 35 seconds. Hampton University leading now 20-0. And Patarini with a high kickoff that'll come to the deep man, Aaron Moore, at about his 7th. And Moore will not get the 20-yard line. He is brought down hard by Jamar Jones. Joe Torre is our man about the stadium, about the parking lots, about everything this day. Joe, where you at now?
Yo, what's up, y'all?
You know, Joe got to realize it's not uncommon for Norfolk State fans to pull for Hampton. I mean, that's like folks from L.A. pulling for folks from Long Beach. They're suburbs of each other. They're rivals, but they respect each other.
On 1st down, we had an incomplete pass to Selby. Look to the near side. Craig Nelson is the lone setback along with Selby. Now has to play comeback master here with his team trailing by 20 with 11:17 to go in the half. On the draw. And Craig Nelson pulled down by Kyle Whitehurst after picking up a couple. So it'll be 3rd down and long.
Kyle Whitehurst does a good job of not letting go. You see the running back Nelson come by and give him one of these old-fashioned Walter Payton stiff arms. Ooh, good positioning on that, but Whitehurst did a good job of holding on to that jersey.
Where's the tearaway when you need it?
Earl Campbell jersey, but Whitehurst is one of the MVPs thus far for this Hampton defense. Came up with a crucial interception in the Howard game to seal the victory for the Pirates over the Bison again.
Jason Jackson alone setback in Selby. Stepping up in the pocket, throws over the middle, has his man, and they're saying incomplete, but I think the officials are going to give him the catch. And he hits Sean Napper, 6'3", 190-pound junior who came into the game with 10 catches for 90 yards on the year. Give him 14 on that one.
Yeah, you're definitely giving him 14 yards because he didn't catch that ball. That ball hit off the turf there, but no instant replay here taking place. A skip pass, but Selby's got to hit him. He was wide open there. You know, when you're playing a good team, you got to hit the open wide receivers.
So they move the chains and give him first down. Two receivers split to the near side. Selby again out of the shotgun. Little delay. No, he kept it. And he's going to keep it on the near side and tightrope the sidelines there. He doesn't go out of bounds until he gets to the 42-yard line. Nice footwork by the quarterback, 6'2", 190-pound junior. Give him 8 yards.
Yeah, great job on the play action, too. When you see him at the end, he's still got to protect that football. He's got a little bit too close hanging out there. Protect that football, son. That's your moneymaker. Good job doing the tiptoe on the sideline, but protect that football or else bad things can happen.
Nice play fake, too. My eyes aren't the best, but he faked out the announcer here. Jason Jackson, the lone setback.
This is the matchup they got to go to. You got Dickens, your home run guy, one-on-one coverage. Find a way to get him the football.
And Jackson picking his way through blockers, gets across the 45 to the 47-yard line for first down yardage for Morgan State. Coming up at halftime, remember, we'll have the Battle of the Bands right here between Morgan State and Hampton U, and you can log on to www.bet.com/BCF after today's game and cast your vote for your favorite band of the week. And you can tune in next week to find out the winner. Two receivers split out to the top of your screen on the right side. And Selby again operating out of the shotgun. His team down by 20. His tight end Cash, and Chris Cash goes down at the 40-yard line, give him 13 yards and move the chains again. First down. Marlon Fair, the free safety, makes the tackle.
Yeah, this is a good job by Brian Selby of executing a hot read. You hear that term a lot. When they bring the blitzing linebackers from here, look at the tight end fill the void from where the blitz comes from. As you roll the tape there, you'll see that's just a simple hot read. Guy comes off uncovered, get the ball to him as quickly as possible. Great job of knowing your protection by Byron Selby.
Chris Cash in preseason all-MEAC conference selection at the tight end spot for Morgan State. Third catch of the year. Selby in some trouble. Now throwing downfield, has a man open, and the Diggins control it. He could not. He was wide open on the play. His go-to guy, Kelvin Dickens, you don't see him do that too often.
No, he's got to come down with that one there. Great job of Byron Selby of avoiding the blitz from the outside, making the miss and throwing the ball right on the 2. Dickens just couldn't come down with that one. That was a crucial play. And when you're the senior leader on offense, you got to come away with that football. That ball's right there. Concentrate trying to keep his feet in bounds. This is the college game. It's not Sundays yet, son. Get one foot down and make the catch.
Dickens, preseason all-conference selection, came into the game with 9 catches for 143 yards and a 15.9 average. Could not hold on to that one. Would have been first down yardage. So Selby out of the shotgun under some heavy pressure. Gets rid of it just before he was brought down by guess who? The middle linebacker, Justin Durant, coming on the blitz.
Yeah, and I'm learning Selby. I'm glad to see Selby's learning. You can't outrun that guy. So
No.
get rid of the football. You see this, Joe Taylor's defense being very aggressive. Durant beats the offensive lineman, then runs down the quarterback. That's that motor, that engine you hear people talk about. He could have just given up once they tried to blitz and had to fend off the defender, the offensive lineman. But not only did he beat the offensive lineman, he attacked the quarterback and was on him just like a leopard out there in the jungle chasing down one of those harmless deers, or I guess the antelopes.
Antelope, deer. Third down and 10. Selby out of the shotgun. Throws and has his man Roderick Wolf. And Wolf will be close to the first down yardage depending on where they spot him. And I don't think he's going to get a fortuitous spot from the officials. Looks like he might be about a yard short.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know, considering they had a field goal blocked already. You know that Coach Hill's probably going to go for this. But good job of stepping up in the pocket, keeping your eyes downfield, and delivering a rope to the wide receiver Wolf there to get yourself in a position to go for it on fourth down.
So Coach Hill, not much thought given to going for it on fourth down here. Jason Jackson is back there with Selby out of the shotgun, and Selby doesn't like something, so takes a timeout. Morgan State, crucial drive here, trailing by 20. Fourth down play when we come back to the New York Urban League Football Classic on BET. Crucial fourth down play at the 31-yard line of Hampton. You need to convert this and try to go down and get some points on the board. As Hampton University in control so far. Cash in motion, the tight end. And Selby out of the shotgun. They are showing blitz. Bad snap. Selby going to try to make something out of it. He has enough room on the far side, does he? He lost control of the ball. Where will they spot it?
They gave him a good spot.
Good spot. That'll be your first down. Justin Durant was given chase. And I believe Selby picked up enough for the first down. He did.
I mean, you wonder, you got a great running back duo there. Why did he line up on 4th and 1 in the shotgun formation? You must not have the confidence in the offensive line right now that you can just go forward, play smash mouth football, and get that first down.
Coach Ely. Ball now inside the 30 to the 29-yard line, and Selby operating out of the shotgun once again. And that's Jackson getting down to about the 26-yard line. Give him 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
We talk about differences in the running style. If you're Hampton, you put that quarterback underneath center, put the running back in the backfield, just let them find the hole with the vision. Morgan State, a lot of misdirection, pulling guards, pulling tackles, a delay type running game, but they don't have that type of offensive line that can just line up over you and drive you off the ball.
On 2nd down and 7, Selby again out of the shotgun. Hampton showing blitz, and Selby throwing, but he skipped that one in. He was looking for Roderick Wolf on the out pattern on the near side inside the 20. So it'll be 3rd and 7. And again, you're probably looking at 2-down territory once again.
Yeah, depending on what they do on this play right here. You got an experienced quarterback. He realizes, hey, even if you don't pick up the whole first down, I got 2 downs to get this first down because my coach has already basically made up his mind that we're going to not go for the field goal unless we get closer range.
So a key 3rd down play. Two receivers split to the bottom of your screen, and Cash the tight end in motion. And Selby stepping up in the pocket, throwing down the middle wide open, and that is another skipped ball as he was looking for his wide receiver Sean Napper, but that one hit some turf as well before he was able to bring it in.
You see how it balances out? See, I actually thought he caught that football. The one before, I know he didn't catch it, but they kind of did a makeup call there, and they took that one from him. But Selby's got to realize they brought the blitz from the left side. Had he been reading his keys with the protection, he'd have seen that he was open way before the play even got this far. He did a good job of getting his arms underneath that. Well, I thought he probably got that ball hit him on the forearm there. I thought he could have given him that catch there. But had Selby read his keys earlier, you had Napper open for a long time.
Wow, and look at it on the replay, of course, which they do not utilize in this particular game. And I think he might have had a catch. So a big 4th down play, 4th and 7. Selby buying some time, throwing, and that one's caught. Dickens, touchdown.
Good job after the catch of doing it all by yourself. Kelvin Dickens, after making the reception, was determined to get into the end zone.
26 yards on the catch and run by his go-to guy who's been nursing a sore ankle. But Dickens showing some nice moves on that play after the catch.
You see Selby here. They're doing a lot of blitzing. So you see the blitz coming. Selby does a good job of getting outside the pocket to create time. Throws a good pass. And Dickens with the last-second cut there on that ankle. He's a little gimpy of getting into the end zone, making this football game competitive again.
And the extra point is good. So Morgan State, 6:38 to go in the half, completes a 14-play drive, gets on the scoreboard, gets back into the game, 20-7 here in the second.
This portion of the New York Urban League Classic is brought to you by Pepsi. It's the Cola.
In the first half, Morgan State gets on the board, completing an impressive 14-play drive, 20-7, and we have a very special guest up in the booth with us with the Jacksonville Jaguars Vice President, Player Personnel, James Harris. They call him, I learned today, Shaq. I mean, that's a good nickname.
Sugar Shack and Grambling legend.
That's right.
Jack Harris. Down there, you come out here to this football game, you're obviously making all the decisions for the Jacksonville Jaguars now. What keeps bringing you back to Black College football games?
Continue to look for another Jay Walker.
Or another James Harris. That wouldn't be bad.
Don't let him fool you now. Jay Walker cannot come close to Shaq Harris and what he was able to accomplish there. Being a man of, you're a G-man. You know, you and Doug Williams always tease me about being a G-man for life. The Grambling Tigers are looking pretty good this year.
Yeah, they are, and we are excited about, this upcoming season. Be good to get them on one of your telecasts.
Yeah, he was bugging us about that a little earlier. You haven't seen Grambling yet? Tell me about it as a player personnel director. A lot of people at home think Division I AA guys don't get a good look from NFL-type personnel, but that's not true, and you got some talent down here in this field for both these teams.
No, it's they'll get a good look. I think it's up to those individuals to continue to play and work hard. I think it's better than ever before that the guys can make the team, and I think they need to continue to have that confidence. I think need to encourage more players to go to these schools and give themselves a chance to get into the NFL.
Well, coming out here, you picked a great game to go to. We got running backs all over the place, and you take a look at Alonzo Coleman right here. What does a guy like Alonzo Coleman need to do in order to play on Sundays?
Well, he has a couple more, he has another year to play. I think in order to mature and work on the weights and doing the off-season training, get stronger, he looked like he has a future in the NFL.
And you guys found a guy in last year's class, in Derek Wimbush, who came from Fort Valley State, now a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as Rasheed Mathis. Talk about their black college players you have on the Jaguars.
Well, both of those guys were highly productive. Rasheed had 14 interceptions, and Wimbush had over 1,800 yards rushing. And we always, incomplete pass, pretty good throw.
And he was looking that time for Andre Jones on the deep pattern, and it was knocked away. Nice play in the secondary. I think Kendall Jackson, one of the guys back there to break it up.
And before we let you go, I got to ask you, you were one of the pioneers in terms of being a black quarterback playing in the National Football League, MVP of the Pro Bowl, which a lot of people don't know about you. What have you seen the biggest changes that black quarterbacks face now in the NFL?
I think now, in the NFL, because so many of them are playing in college, now realistic, the black quarterback has a chance to play and make a team. I think it's the first time probably in a long time where you see as many backup quarterbacks as you do today.
Thank you so much. As a former backup quarterback, and a little known history fact, the Jacksonville Jaguars under Shaq Harris, as well as your coach Jack Del Rio, only team in the NFL to have all three quarterbacks minorities, and that was Quinn Gray from FAMU. They had David Gerard as well as Byron Leftwich. My hats off to you. Appreciate it. Always good.
We have three good black quarterbacks, just happen to be black.
That's right.
Politically correct, isn't it?
No, that's just the truth. I like that. They're just another football player now. Not such a big deal anymore to see an African-American playing the quarterback position in the National Football League. James, thank you, man. Continued success with the Jaguars and in the National Football League. And they get a first down as Ardell Daniels gets across the stick. So 1st and 10, and this is Coleman. Coleman up the middle, gets maybe 3. He's brought down by a host of dark blue jerseys, Reggie Holmes and Jeremy Zollicoffer amongst the time.
One of those notes on Shaq's, back when I was coming out of college, we had a network of black quarterbacks. So when I was thinking about going to Howard, Shaq got on the phone, talked to my dad, and said, "Send your boy there to Coach Wilson. He's a good guy." And when I was getting ready for the draft, he prepared me. And knowing out of high school, he always taught me the things I would need to make it as a leader, not as well as what you do on the field, but how to be the leader off the field. James Harris and Doug Williams, two very instrumental guys in my life.
The play fake to Coleman. Here comes the blitz, and Shepard somehow got away from it. Shepard gets inside the 45 to the 43. How did he avoid that blitz? He got 4 yards.
Man, the blessing to have such good legs, to have such French legs. That's one of those things I was never able to do. But when you've got these athletic quarterbacks nowadays, they're growing up watching the Michael Vicks and the McNabbs and McNairs. At some point in their career, they're learning how to run like running backs. And Princeton Shepard showed you what a good athlete he was there by making those defenders miss him in the backfield.
Shepard calling the play on 3rd down and 5, and now he's going to have to burn a timeout. And before the play clock wound down to 0, so he's going to come talk things over. Gives us time. Well, okay, we're going to take a break. 4:09 to go here in the first half. Hampton leading Morgan State by the score of 20-7. Hampton on the move at the 44-yard line of Morgan State, leading at 20-7. And today's Scholastic athletes of the game are brought to you by Pepsi. It's the cola. For Hampton, Marcus Dixon, 3.4 grade point average in physical education. And for Morgan State, Curtis Bradley, a 3.2 GPA in architecture. And he's really into urban development. Designing entire neighborhoods is what he wants to do. Congratulations to both our scholar athletes for this game, this New York Urban League Classic. Third down. Out of the shotgun is Princeton Shepard. And on the draw, Coleman. Flag down, though. Coleman! Finally knocked out of bounds by Choo-Choo Davis inside the 5-yard line at the 4. 37 yards, but hold everything. I think they're going to be bringing it back.
It looks like Coleman's about to get his feelings hurt.
And Coach Taylor wants to know, who's that call against?
Number 62, offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat, third down.
Well, I know that run had to come back, but did you see the cuts that Coleman made on this turf here? I mean, special, this special. The ability to change directions 4 times on one run for the home run hitter. He's one of those guys, every time he touches the football, he's got a chance at taking it to the end zone.
Gerald Golightly, the 6'2", 303-pound senior, starting right guard, a crucial penalty. And we talked about Hampton's problems in that area a little bit earlier in the broadcast. And that one hurts a lot. Would have had it inside the 5-yard line. Ardell Daniels going to give Coleman a breather after that 37-yard jaunt that does not count. So out of the shotgun with 3 receivers split to the top of your screen, Princeton Shepard. Going over the middle, has his man. And he's got first down yardage inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. It's Derek Faulkner. 20 yards on that play. And the drive stays alive. Kendall Jackson in on the stop.
You know, and that's what you want from Derek Faulkner. You know, when you talk to, when you watch Faulkner coming into his Hampton career, they had such high expectations for him, and he never reached their level of expectation. He's got the size, he's got the body. They want him to catch the ball and be physical like that. If he can continue to do that, Faulkner can become the star wide receiver that Coach Taylor and offensive coordinator Fred Kice want to see him become.
And first down, this is Coleman. And Coleman bouncing off, showing those nifty moves once again, zigzagging down to about the 30, so give him 5 on that one. And the Hampton running game is really working. Omatade, the defensive end, making the stop. 6'4", 265-pound senior, or I'm sorry, redshirt junior for Morgan State. And could tell Joe Torre out there hanging around with the tailgaters outside. They better start making their way in for the Battle of the Bands. 3 minutes, 5 seconds, or inside 3 minutes now of playing time left. And this is Daniels trying to get the corner. Will not get it. The middle linebacker, Reggie Holmes, there to stand him up early.
Good job of swarming to the football. One thing that good defenses know how to do is use the sideline. So if you got a team that's going to run a pitch to the outside, you just do your best to make sure they don't have a cutback lane and force the play out of bounds to the sideline, because as long as I've been around the game of football, Sammy Sideline hasn't missed too many tackles.
And the rushing offense of Hampton, more yards in this half, 165, than they average per game so far this season. That is not good news for Coach Hill and the Bears of Morgan State. Shepard almost threw that one in dangerous territory as Javar Goulson was there on the coverage. And that one could have been big.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talk about. We talk about how Faulkner's got this great body. Well, one of the benefits to having a wide receiver that's so big and so tall is if you throw the ball, the DB has to come around him. He can always make himself big and not let the defensive back get a hand on the football. Had he used his body, he could have shielded off the defensive back from having an opportunity to break up that pass completion there. If you're big, you got to play big.
Here's Andrew Patarini. This will be from 47. I think he didn't have enough hook in it. He left it wide right. No good. Again, this guy with plenty of leg. He just left that one wide right. So 2 of 3 in field goals this day for Patarini. As he misses that one, and Morgan State will take over. 1st and 10 at its own 30-yard line. Joe Torre is our man about this New York Urban League Football Classic. Joe, where you at now?
I am in front of the most beautiful women in the stadium, getting ready for the halftime battle of the bands. Hampton State cheerleaders. Look at them, ain't they so fine? Oh, man, y'all should be down here. I'll see y'all later. Battle of the Bands coming up, y'all, on BET. Don't forget to vote, BET.com.
Joe, thanks for finally joining us here in the stadium.
Yeah, really. Been outside with all the tailgaters, right?
And came in here without no plates.
And yeah, right, no food for us. And the first thing he does is find the pretty girls. I tell you. This is Nelson on the draw up the middle, and Nelson gets first down yardage across the 40 to the 43. Give him 13 on that one easily. One of the best running plays from a back by Morgan State today. Kyle Whitehurst brought him down.
Yeah, and you need to see them attack that more. I mean, you know, the center of the offensive line for Morgan, that's where the big boys are. I mean, the center key weighs 360 pounds. Cousin comes in at 330, and you got Delaney in there at 310. Run the ball hard up the middle instead of trying to attack the outside.
Selby. And that one just thrown away as he was looking for Roderick Wolf on a kind of comeback pattern, but just threw it short. Looked like intentionally, because that one just didn't seem to be developing the way they'd like it to. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Selby's a little rattled right now. And, you know, he's rattled because they've been bringing the blitz on him and they've been hitting him. And what happens when you rattle a young quarterback? He starts looking at the pass rush instead of reading his keys and the coverages and finding the open wide receiver. See, he's looking at these guys here. When he needs to concentrate on the look he's getting in the secondary.
Nelson off the right side and good yardage out across to midfield. And he'll pick up about 7 on that play, leaving 3rd and short. And he was brought down by Chris Carruthers, a Wake Forest transfer, and they're hurrying up as they're getting down to close to a minute left in the first half. Morgan State would love to get some points on the board before we take the break and watch the Battle of the Bands at halftime here on BET. 3rd down and 3. Selby trying to buy some more time. And he'll just throw that one away to the near side. And now with 55 seconds to go, this is kind of tricky territory. If they go for the first down and don't make it, you give Hampton the ball at midfield and give them a chance to go down and get some more points before halftime. What do you do, Coach? What do you call it?
I mean, to me, this is a no-brainer. You punt the football away. I mean, you don't give Hampton an opportunity on this short field to drive. If you kick the ball, can pin them inside their 10-yard lines, they got, 50 seconds to go 90 yards on you. You got a good chance. If you give them the ball right here and you don't convert, then they would get the ball at midfield and they only have to go 20 yards to kick the field goal on.
Marquay McDaniel, the conference's leader in punt return, will take this one, and I don't think they're going to kick it to him. Maybe they will. He's going to fair catch it. It looked like that time that Thomas Beast was angling for the sideline, but kind of mishit that one. 32-yard punt, no return, as it was fair caught by Marquay McDaniel. Hey man, maybe we were wrong a little bit. We wanted food, and maybe Joe Torres found some for us and really redeemed himself with the fellas up in the booth. Joe?
Eric, Jay, I'm down here getting you some food, as you can see. My man Horace is hooking me up. Can I get a piece of chicken, man? Right on. That's how you do it, baby. East Coast tailgating.
About to say, man,
Now how does he get it from there and all the way up here?
Don't you worry about that. I'll take care of it.
All right, you take care of that?
If it's in the building, I'm going to go get to it, all right?
Okay. Coleman, the deep back, and the handoff, a strange one to the fullback. That's Quatrell Payton. And Payton gets really good yardage up to close to the 40-yard line. Give the fullback 16 on the carry.
And that's a good call. Now that makes the play out of this first half kind of interesting. They got the big run. Now they can play with the timeouts in the field position to see if they want to do something. The old hand around there, make yourself small, hide the ball in there, and a good block out there by Brandon Walker, the left tackle. Just get in front of him, leading the entourage to now Hampton can play to go for the field goal before the half.
I don't know if I've ever seen a handoff like that. Jeffrey going deep. And what a body adjustment that time. Derek Faulkner brings it in, and now Hampton in position to maybe score a touchdown after the 37-yard gain.
You got to wonder. They go to the man-to-man coverage there, and the problem when you play man-to-man coverage is Derek Faulkner is one of those guys that's got good size. And look at the body control. Twist his body around, concentrate, lose your balance, and come down with the reception. Good job, Derek Faulkner. That's the way you got to play every play.
And we talked to some coaches today that have been a little disappointed in his production and his work ethic a little bit so far this year, but he might be redeeming himself with his performance so far in this game. Coleman is the lone setback behind Shepard. 1st and 10 now, the ball at the 25-yard line, and Hampton looking to add to its 20-7 lead. Morgan showing blitz, and Shepard holds on to it and will take the sack as they were coming from all angles on that particular play.
You know, the play kind of looked doomed from the beginning, but you don't mind when your quarterback's a little bit confused. Rather than try and be a hero, just go down to the ground.
Lonnie Harvey was one of the first people to him. Coming up on the Southwest Airlines halftime report, we'll feature the Battle of the Bands for you. Jay and I will have all the first half highlights and statistics, all that coming up at the half. So after the sack, 23 seconds to go in the half. And the clock stopped with a timeout. As Coach Hill hoping that his Morgan State defense can hold up. Now Hampton has scored 20 or more points in each of its last 25, make it 26 games coming into this one. So kind of difficult to stop that ground attack in that offense, especially when you add it to the play of the special teams that do so many things so well and give them great field position. Alonzo Coleman is the lone setback. Two tight end alignment for Hampton. And we had a little movement before the snap of the football on that one. And I believe it was the tight end, Weston Hill.
I'll tell you what, Morgan and Coach Hill and staff, they were getting very aggressive. They brought the all-out blitz against Hampton. Had that play been called, not been stopped.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 8, offense. 5-yard penalty, it remains, second down.
Derek Faulkner was the guy who moved, and a couple of people in the interior line moved as well. Before that one snapped, they could have called it on a number of guys in white. So another penalty against Hampton.
See, I don't know if I come out so aggressive going with the blitz, because what happens with the blitz, if you do sack them, you take them out of field goal range. But if they connect on something with man-to-man coverage and you're blitzing, it could be a big play, possibly a touchdown. But he's standing there for a reason.
They are blitzing, and Shepard gets outside the pocket. Now he throws downfield. Has his man, knocked away from him as Javar Goulson knocked it out of the arms of Andre Jones. That would have been a big catch down inside the 10.
Oh, man, what a great football play there. You saw everything that you wanted to see there. They brought the blitz from the outside. You'll see the wide receiver and the defensive back. They're just playing keep away, jump ball. Who wants it more? He caught it. DB doing what he's taught. Once you get your hand in there, separate the wide receiver's arms from each other to make the ball come loose. That's perfect technique there by Javar Goulson.
So with 15 seconds to go in the first half, it'll be third down and long. 3rd and 18. Ardell Daniels, the lone setback. To the right of Princeton Shepard out of the shotgun, and Morgan State showing blitz again. Here they come. They'll set up the screen. That could be trouble. Daniels. Daniels, untouched.
Oh, my goodness. So aggressive. How do you slow down an aggressive blitzing team? By draws and screen plays there. Outside linebackers had to know they weren't being blocked. You got to watch the running backs. Perfect play call, gets a blitzing defense with the screen. Good job by Fred Kice.
Well, you talked about it. There's a reason we call you the ambassador.
I mean, take a look. What you're going to get, these guys come. Once he doesn't block, you got to know that he's going to get the football. Otherwise, he would block the blitzing linebacker. Did a good job of hiding. Nobody there. He's got a wall there. And when you blitz, you play man-to-man coverage. With man-to-man coverage, that normally means you're going to have your back turned to the offense. So the DBs downfield had no idea what was going on in the backfield.
5 plays, 81 yards in only 42 seconds. Ardell Daniels, the 33-yard TD on the catch. And Hampton University, with 5 seconds to go in the half, taking total control back, leading by 20. And Coleman and Daniels have been excellent running and receiving the football in this one. And that is a big score. Kind of a deflating score if you're on the Morgan State side of the field.
And take a look at the offensive line. The left side of the line did a good job. Let the pass rushers and the blitzers go free. Get a man arm on your body and then get out front to lead the running back. And once you get Ardell Daniels with that much space, he's going to find the end zone. Going into the end zone untouched. What a way to burst your bubble going into the half. And I like the fact that Daniels is showing not only can I run the ball, I can catch the ball, I can set it up, because screens are all about timing. And Daniels did a good job of getting lost in the crowd, then appearing for the reception and the touchdown.
And they'll squib that one along the ground. As Jeffrey Jones going to pick it up, trying to pick up a wall to the outside, but that'll be the end of the first half as he goes down at the 33-yard line. Hampton University showing some muscle and might with their talented duo, Coleman and Daniels, doing plenty of damage here in the first half. Hampton leading it 27-7. Don't you go anywhere. Battle of the Bands coming up here from Giant Stadium. The 35th New York Urban League Football Classic returns with all the halftime festivities in just a few moments. Stay with us. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 nonstop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country. And Hampton University controlling it at the half, 27-7 in the New York Urban League Football Classic here against Morgan State. Eric Clemens and Jay Walker back with you here. We talked about running. Joe Torrey was running in the open. We talked about the running backs in this one, and so far Hampton's running backs and their offensive line have controlled things.
Oh, man, from the opening series, they got the ball and moved downfield. Lonzo Coleman, we talked about the ability he had to make people miss, and the offensive line getting people on people. So it's been a great first half for Hampton. Anytime you score 27 points in the first half, that means you're efficient and you're doing what you want to do on the offensive side of football.
Despite giving up that late touchdown in the first half, Morgan State did drive down 81 yards, get on the board. What must the Bears do in the second half to try to get back into this one?
They got to find a way to keep their defense on the field. I mean, the defense got drove on that last drive series there, and I think it's because of fatigue. The number of plays they've seen in the first half was great. If Morgan can't get more long drives, they won't have a chance, because Hampton can run the football. That's what they want to do, and they can keep the Morgan State defense on the field the whole second half. It's going to get ugly.
All right, it's time now for the Battle of the Bands, and when we come back, we'll have the magnificent marching force of Hampton University. Halftime festivities continue here at the Urban League Classic in a moment.
The score is 27-7, Hampton University. But now it's time for the Battle of Bands. Don't forget to vote BET.com for your favorite band. And now taking the field, Hampton University's marching force. Give it up from y'all. They about to set it off. They already blown up the score. Now here they come.
It's time to represent marching pirates everywhere. Get on your feet. Please welcome the Hampton University Marching Force. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dr. William R. Harvey, President of Hampton University, we extend to you a warm greeting from our magnificent home by the sea. We invite you now to sit back, relax, and enjoy the halftime show. The band is under the field direction of Miss Dominique Wilkins, head drum major, assisted by Ricky Brown, Justin Langley, and New York's own Gavin McEachin. Drum majors, the field is yours.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hampton University, the marching force. Don't forget to vote, BET.com. And when we come back, Morgan State, the magnificent marching machine. To vote, BET.com for the Battle of the Bands. Now, welcome, Morgan State, the magnificent marching machine.
Pirates, magnificent marching machine, entertaining those here at Giant Stadium. At halftime, don't forget to log on and vote for your favorite band in our Battle of the Bands. Hampton University, did they win this week? Or Morgan State? It was an interesting battle, to say the least. Jay Walker and Eric Clemens back with you. We're about to start the third quarter here. And in the first half, we talked about running all game long, pre-game, before the pre-game in the hotel. And Hampton proved that it ran the ball very well in the first half.
Hampton ran the ball very well. They were averaging almost 8.5 yards per play in the first half. Morgan, what did they do? Where was their running game? But we saw Hampton early in the first drive getting the ball to one of their big playmakers, Alonzo Coleman, out there on the edge in some space, just doing what he does, basically scoring touchdowns. And then you see him come on later on at the end of the first half, this critical mishap on the Morgan State defense, allowing Daniels to go in untouched on the screenplay.
And Morgan State was able to get on the board once, and it was a catch-and-run play.
Byron Selby creating some time out there. Ball might have been intercepted, but it wasn't. Kelvin Dickens taking it to the end zone, making them pay on the defensive end for the mishap on defense.
Take a look at the numbers, and when you look at them, you can see Hampton University and the rushing attack and the total yardage attack really in control of this game.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan, you put us on the spot. You said you're coming to show who the best two running backs were in this conference. And right now, with 45 yards between your two running backs, Hampton's basically having their way with Morgan State, moving the ball up and down the field. And you got to watch the total number of plays that the defense is. The unfortunate thing for Morgan is Hampton likes to wear out the defensive opponents.
We'll see what Coach Hill can concoct for the second half. Today's halftime report been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 nonstop flights to 60 destinations all across the country. Get to set for the third quarter kickoff when we come back. The New York Urban League Classic moving ahead to further action in the third quarter. Jay Walker, a costly Morgan State fumble, gives Hampton excellent field position at the 37.
Yeah, although we've liked Selby's athleticism all in the first half, we mentioned that he was protecting the ball a little too loosely. When you're a quarterback and not a running back, you got to keep two hands on the ball whenever possible. And you see the Hampton Pirates taking advantage of the loose football that Selby was toting around there. And a good job by Kinsley Dugan for coming up with the fumble recovery.
The senior out of Brooklyn, New York, gives his team excellent field position.
Is he from Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Homeboy, he's here.
That's right.
He's playing in his house.
And three wide receivers split to the top of your screen on the far side. So Hampton University, at least by formation, showing no mercy here with that 20-point lead. Going for it all down the sideline. And caught. Touchdown. What a catch by Derek Faulkner.
That's what you do. Teams get aggressive out there. We've got a flag in the end zone. They may get him for a taunting violation there, but Derek Faulkner's playing big underneath the lights here in New York City.
I think they're going to get him for a little excessive celebrating after he crossed the goal line.
You know what happened is, Faulkner's an Omega Psi Phi. He clearly showed us that with his sign. I think the back judge may be a Nuke or Alpha or something like that.
Okay. What a game by Derek Faulkner. We told you earlier the coaches were a little disappointed in his work ethic and his production so far this year. Can't be too disappointed in the production he's given them in this game.
Yeah, I don't think it's disappointment is a harsh word. I think hasn't played to their level of expectation they expected from him. He's still a very good wide receiver.
Unsportsmanlike conduct gives the offense excessive celebration. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Faulkner, 5 receptions for 113 yards and that touchdown.
Well, he walks in there, he's got the ball across there, and then he's going to give it up to his dogs out there.
Wow, and that's excessive.
I've seen that's kind of ticky-tack. That's kind of ticky-tack. Maybe they didn't like the fact that he put the ball out there before he scored across the end zone.
Patarini converts the extra point. So the 38-yard touchdown reception by Derek Faulkner, and Hampton University all over Morgan State with 12:17 to go in the third quarter, 34-7. New York Urban League Football Classic here on BET, and Jay Walker, the A team, is showing its grades of A so far in this one.
Wow, I mean, they played a great game, haven't they? I mean, these are fourth quarter stats, right? Or you mean to tell me Coleman's got 94 yards already and we're just in the third quarter, and Daniels has got 90 yards as well? Wow. In just one half's worth of work, they've done a good job.
Alonzo Coleman is the deep back in the I formation. Now Shepard looks like he might be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Gives it to the second man through, and there's Coleman breaking into the secondary. Will he go house? Yes!
I'm telling you, pick your poison. I mean, Daniels earlier looked like he was going to be the man today. And then Coleman's like, no, I'm not giving it up to you yet. It's still my day. So they rotate with the touchdowns, and that was a good job of Alonzo Coleman following his lead blocker. And I really like the job that the fullback did here. I mean, take a look at the fullback. Follow him, and you can find the ball. See how Coleman sets up his blocker. That's Curtis Lewis. You see the block. Once he sees the seal block, there goes Coleman. Then he turns on the Jets right there. You follow the big guy jumping through the hole. Good blocking downfield by Faulkner down there. That's a team effort. This Hampton Pirate football team is starting to get it together, y'all, and that's not good news for the rest of the MEAC conference.
41-7 now with 11:20 to go in the third quarter. And this one has quickly become a blowout as Hampton University showing who's in charge with that running game so far in this one. 41-7 score, 11:20 to go in the third. We'll be back. With 11:04 to go in the third quarter, 41-7 is your score here in the Urban League Classic. We move ahead to further action here in the third quarter. Second down and 12. Is Byron Selby in a must-pass situation, and Hampton showing blitz. Quick pass out to the near side and some room for the receiver on that play before he stood up and taken down after a 7-yard gain. The receiver being Sean Napper on that play. Napper picking up 7. So it'll be 3rd and 4.
And Napper's one of those guys where he's got to emerge. I mean, next year he's going to be probably their leading wide receiver. But the key when you're trying to set yourself up to be the man is you got to learn from the guy that's already the man. And Dickens has been the man. Napper's got to start realizing I got to lighten up the load on Dickens this year so my coaches have faith in me for next year.
Hampton, you can see, in control of this one, especially in total yardage. Selby going for it all. That one's a little underthrown. Might have been deflected just as he let it go out of his hands. Coming in on the blitz was Kinsley Dugan from its outside linebacker position. So Morgan State will be forced to punt.
Yeah, this is a much different Hampton Pirate defense that teams are used to seeing. I mean, Hampton for years just came out and played vanilla coverages. This is a very aggressive attacking defense, and they've had great success thus far in the season. It'll be interesting to see how they do in some of the MEAC matchups down the road where you've got offensive that are a little bit more productive than this Morgan State team.
That snap bounces to Beast. Marquay McDaniel fields the line drive at his 37. McDaniel picking his way across midfield down to the 48-yard line, call it a 37-yard punt with a 15-yard return. And a reminder to log on to www.bet.com/BCF after today's game and cast your vote for your favorite band of the week. You can tune in next week to find out the winner. We'll be in Indianapolis, Indiana next week.
That game for years was the Circle City Classic. For years was the biggest game in all black college football. Still is. Great environment there. The city of Indianapolis does a great job with us, and just enjoy going to Indianapolis.
This play, Hampton is 2 plays for 70 yards and a couple TDs. They're going for more. Into double coverage. He was looking for Derek Faulkner, and that one didn't have much of a chance. Looked like on the coverage back there was Larry Choo-Choo Davis and Brandon Wells on the double.
The Princess Shepherd got away with one there. We know that Faulkner's had a fantastic game there, but I still like my chances when I get 2 defensive backs taking on 1 wide receiver. As we take a look at,
that's Kendall Jackson
limping off the field there.
Coming on to replace him was Keon Gray. And this is Daniel trying to bounce to the outside, and does. Daniels still running. Forced out of bounds. Inside the 20, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. 34 more yards for that Hampton ground attack.
I mean, you know, when you talk about Coleman, and Coleman no doubt is special, but Daniels is better. I don't know if I've seen a better running back at making something of nothing than Daniels. You see here, he's trying to get around Curtis Lewis. It looks like nothing's happened, and then he finds a lane. He shoots up it, and not just for 7, 8, 9 yards. These are 34-yard gains that he's knocking off. Daniels is one of those guys that he's really great at making something of nothing.
Ardell Daniels has 91 yards on 12 carries in this game after that 34-yard run. Also a touchdown. So first down. And Daniels gets it again. Picks his way through, and that time, oh my goodness, does Darius Leak say no? An emphatic no.
And that's what a linebacker is supposed to do. I mean, you know, we've been watching Coleman and Daniels just run all over the field like it was easy, like they were a running back on some video game or something. Where's the football players at? Football is all about collisions. And you'll see Darius Leak right here give you a collision. You try and cut back on me this time, snap his head back. Textbook tackle by Darius Leak.
Oh, the transfer from UConn. One of the leaders, the leader on this team in total tackles, Alonzo Coleman, back in the game while perhaps Daniels shakes out the cobwebs after taking a hit like that. Two receivers split to the bottom of your screen, and this is Coleman. And Coleman going off right guard inside the 15 to, let's say, the 12-yard line before he's brought down by Jarrell Guyton. Backup linebacker for Morgan State. And Daniels pumped up, wants the coach to call his number so he can go back out there in the field. But Coleman has this one for now, the lone setback. As Princeton Shepard operates out of the shotgun with 3 receivers split to the near side. Little swing pass, Coleman. And a nice tackle by Choo-Choo Davis from the safety spot. Might have prevented 6 more there.
That was a shoestring tackle, but that shoestring saved the touchdown. Take a look here. This is just a little swing pass outside. The wide receiver missed his chop block, or else Coleman would have gone in untouched. But Larry Choo-Choo Davis showing why he's an all-MEAC performer, making the tackle.
And the All-American from 2004, Andrew Patarini, going to try to hook one in from the right hash mark from 25 yards away. And he was able to do it. Patarini, 25-yard field goal, and Hampton adding to the onslaught. 7:27 to go in the third. It's 44-7 for Coach Joe Taylor and his troops. Giant Stadium in East Rutherford. Hampton, after scoring, points 42, 43, and 44 kicking off. And this one goes to Jones. Jones gets it out across the 20 to the 22-yard line before he is brought down. And Morgan State is going to take over 1st and 10, down by plenty.
Coming into this series here, you might wonder with the score getting a little bit out of hand, 44-7, would Coach Hill consider a quarterback change? And in a normal situation, you would. But the fact that he thinks Selby's going to be his guy in the future, he's saying as many reps, as many snaps as I can get him in the game, I need him to get him so he can get game experience. And this is only a learning curve, keeping him in there against the #1 team in the country.
1st and 10. And Selby operating out of the shotgun. This time throwing far side and has his man Kelvin Dickens. Dickens gets about 8 on the play. Today's trivia question and answer brought to you by Jeep. Trail rated capability only in a Jeep 4x4. Earlier, we asked you who is Hampton University's all-time rushing leader. And now for the answer.
Not for long should be the answer. Montrell Coley, great running back. I mean, he was a joy to watch. You talk about somebody that could do it. He could literally do it. The unfortunate thing is he's got Alonzo Coleman coming right behind him, and Coleman's gone out and rushed for 1,000 yards in every season he's had there. So Coleman should go above the 4,000-yard plateau before he leaves the sea by the bay, the school by the bay, by the sea. Hey, what's that motto? School by the sea.
Coleman was just 440 yards shy of becoming the 4th 3,000-yard rusher for career at Hampton University. Craig Nelson, a nice gain up the middle for 1st down yardage from Morgan State on that run. And Selby again out of the shotgun, trying to buy some time. Now he's running out of it, and he fumbles the football. He's still loose. And Morgan State able to come up with it. deep in their own territory.
I give Selby some credit. He went and recovered his own fumble.
Yeah, Vernon Bryant was in there making the tackle to jar it loose. And boy, did they lose a bundle by the time Morgan State was able to cover it.
You know, you see Selby here. I mean, this is the thing. Where's the presence? Know what's going on. See, he's lost in the present, in the pocket. He's running backwards. He's running forward all over. He's not protecting the football there. You know, one of my best coaches of all time taught me one simple thing. Don't turn over the football. And that was Bill Parcells. He said, if you keep the football, you can't turn it over. So what Selby got to do is protect that football. But, you know, one thing about it, he's a young player. He's a sophomore, so he'll learn. And football's all about, just like life, it's all about learning experiences and learning from your mistakes.
3rd and 35. And Nelson with a lot of room on the little draw play off the near side. And he gets across the 30. He picked up 18 yards on that play. So, again, Morgan State will face an obvious punting situation on 4th down.
For those guys, you know, for Craig Nelson and Jason Jackson, it's tough to get it going. And, you know, they won't be alone. You got guys like Justin Durant and Michael Littlejohn and Marcus Dixon. This Pirate defensive front is going to give the rest of the conference fits in terms of trying to get the running game.
Marquay McDaniel standing back at his own 35-yard line to field the punt of Thomas Beast, who should strike this one from about his 20. Another bounce snap to him. But he gets it away. Nice end-over-end kick. Marquay McDaniel fields it at his 28. Flag down on the play. McDaniel explodes through a hole on the far side. Gets it close to midfield. But again, we have a flag at the 43. A 42-yard punt, a 21-yard return, but a flag down right at the 42-yard line.
I think they caught Hampton holding the outside release gunner over there. But, you know, certain people, punt return is an art form. You know, you can't teach to everybody. It takes some courage to sit underneath there and have your body exposed. And McDaniel's one of those guys, he just has it. He's got that knack to find the hole. That return there was special because he had the patience and he knew when to run sideways and when to run north and south. So that's a special knack that you get. A lot of guys get there and they dance too much east to west.
Holding. Number 1 on the receiving team during the kick. Post-scrimmage kick enforcement, 10 yards from the end of the kick, 1st down.
That was Travaris Bain holding on that play for Hampton on the punt return, as you called.
And with the music.
Antoine Smith the pass and has his receiver on the near side out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Andre Jones once again on the catch.
When you have Antoine Smith coming here, you know, you always talk about, well, now it's time to bring the backups in. Well, when this season started, I mean, he was neck and neck with Princeton Shepard on the depth chart in terms of who was going to be the starting quarterback throughout the year. Smith came in there and struggled a little bit, which normally happens when you transfer from one school to the other. It takes you a while to get acclimated to the new offense, but Coach Taylor said, hey, you need 2 good quarterbacks to go as far in the playoffs as this program is trying to go.
Smith looking for a little screen set up to Van Morgan, who's in there. Coleman and Daniels have the day off, the rest of the game off, it would look like, and we got a couple flags down on the play. There's Antoine Smith, the numbers for the transfer out of Kent. 15 to 27, 83 yards, 1 interception so far in the year.
They say he's a real student of the game, understands this offense. You know, given the opportunity, they feel as if the offense wouldn't miss it.
An eligible receiver downfield, number 68 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Terrence Smith, backup guard or tackle, I should say.
That's not his fault. He got called out on TV for no reason. You got ineligible receiver downfield. What happened was it was a screen play, and if that ball would have been thrown behind the line of scrimmage, you can go downfield all you want. But the moment the ball crosses the initial line of scrimmage, linemen aren't allowed to be downfield. So Morgan did a good job of sniffing out the screen, and by Smith not getting the completion and making the ball cross the line of scrimmage, ineligible receiver downfield. Say that a couple times.
Right, say it fast. Ineligible man downfield.
That's why the veteran quarterbacks, once the screen plays aren't there, they either throw the ball on the ground or they take off running.
Two receivers split to either side. In motion was a youngster that the coaches raved about, Kevin Teal. We might watch him, number 16 for Morgan State, if they throw that ball. They told us he ran a 4.2 140 earlier this year, and he's going to be the next Mathis, they tell us.
And I told them, I want to know what's in the water in Hampton, Virginia.
It's time so far in the game that he's going to be back in punt formation. And a high kick. Jai Wilson will field it inside his 30. Oh, look at the move.
Oh, what a block. He's gone.
Jai Wilson will not be caught. But there is a flag down at the 36-yard line.
I don't agree with that flag. I do not agree with that flag. That was a clean block that was made by Gregory Unke. Oynu. That got me. I can't pronounce that one there. But number 56 is going to be called for an illegal block. But I thought this was a legal block. I mean, he had one of those wipeout blocks. What can you do when the guy's turned sideways?
On UK, it's a guy, a 70-yard return, and it's been that kind of day for Coach Donald Hill-Ely. One more look at it.
I mean, take a look. The block's going to come from this side of your screen, and to me, it's going to look like a clean block here. He's going to come in and wipe him out as he goes through there. I mean, those blocks are good.
Wow, he did get that shoulder in front. He did not hit him from behind at all.
You know, and that rule was designed to protect the guys when you don't know contact is coming.
All right, we had contact below the knees, I believe is what they're calling. Brandon Wells, one of the people that allegedly threw an illegal block on that run back.
I mean, you can show that run to me over and over again, and I don't see anything that was done deliberately and hurt somebody or shortchange them. I know rules are rules, but at what point do you have to just say they just made a good block and they were in the right position? You know, it was a fantastic return by the return man.
And Jai Wilson came into the game as the second leading punt returner in the conference. He had returned 6 for 69 yards so far in the year. And this is Jackson off the left side. And he picks up a few yards before being brought down by Vernon Bryant. He still cannot believe it. And we are through at the end of the third quarter here. Hampton University all over Coach Hill's Morgan State Bears. Back with the start of the fourth in a moment.
This portion of the New York Urban League Classic is brought to you by Jeep. Trail-rated capability. Only in a Jeep 4x4.
The all-new Jeep Commander. Introducing the first Jeep 4x4 with 7-passenger seating. It's not just for the city, it's of the city.
At a distant research facility, all hell has broken loose. Now,
orders received and understood. Search and destroy.
The Marines are going in.
Game time.
On October 21st.
Don't move. Don't move.
It won't be pretty.
Holy.
Doom.
Sir, are you okay?
Rated R. October 21st.
Search Monster every day looking for the right candidates. But you can't be found unless you post your resume. So post your resume today in just a few clicks and let employers find you.
At the end of the day, take it off. Take it off. Take it all off. With new Olay Night Cleansing Cloths. Cleans deep down to the pores and removes mascara better than several leading makeup removers for a deep nighttime clean.
This here is the story of a gangster's rise to power.
I'm Carlito Brigante. You don't never want no beef with me.
From the producer of Scarface and Carlito's Way.
You're gonna bring down Hollywood Nicky. He's got 3 tons stashed in the safe house.
This loyalty that you have for your friends someday is gonna get you killed. Carlito.
Beatles Way, Rise to Power on DVD Tuesday.
Why take your family to a casual dining restaurant and pay $8 a person when you can get the same quality meal for half the price at KFC? Get 10 pieces of Kentucky Fried Chicken, 2 large home-style sides, and 4 biscuits for less than $4 a person. Your dollar goes further at KFC.
The Queen Bee holds court for a BET exclusive. At last, the naked truth is revealed. Testimony, Lil Cam, Tuesday at 7:30.
The BET Comedy Award 2005. Martin Lawrence received the Icon Award, plus performances by Tia Marie and David Banner, and a whole lot more. Hosted by Steve Harvey, Tuesday at 9.
Share the fun. Get credits for the best jokes as part of your monthly Jumbo Discount Smile Plan. Write a text message with the word SMILE to number 52020 and press send. It's easy. They're so funny. Experience fun at its very best and download a Smile on your phone. We'll make you laugh, guaranteed. Do it now. So come on, grab your phone and text SMILE to number 52020.
Who decides what the next big thing in TV is? Who judges which innovations bring TV to the next level? The answer is easy. You do. DirecTV never stops looking for ways to bring you the best TV possible. Maybe that's why we've rated higher than cable in customer satisfaction 4 years running. Putting our customers first, just another example of how DirecTV is rethinking the way television should be.
Fourth quarter getting underway. The New York Urban League Football Classic, 35th edition. And Hampton, the top-ranked team in black college football and the defending black college football national champions, showing why against the Bears of Morgan State in this one.
One thing about this 2005 version of the Pirates, I mean, they're loaded. I mean, before you could go in there, play Hampton and think, well, if I could just outscore them, I got a chance. But now, I mean, this defense is stingy. They went out and got some great defensive backs that can cover. So their weaknesses are becoming less and less.
Selby off the pump fake, in some trouble. Tries to gun that one. And a lot of jerseys in the area of that pass as he was looking for Sean Napper.
And everywhere you see the ball, I mean, you just see white jerseys all over the place. I mean, they're flying around the ball. I mean, even the touchdown that they gave up today was an aggressive DB that could have intercepted that pass. So they came into this game, they've got the #1 scoring defense in the conference, you know, averaging, giving up 11 points per game, and they're well on their way to keeping Morgan State below their average.
Maybe taking that average of points allowed at 11 points per game down a little bit. They've only allowed 7 so far. Selby going deep. Dickens in a battle, and it is knocked away incomplete. He was battling with Pat Preston, a 6'1" sophomore cornerback on that play, and Preston was with him stride for stride.
You know, that's one of those things where, you know, with Dickens not being 100%, he can't elevate like he wants to. You know, can't really get the lift off the ground to go and attack that ball because of the sprained ankle, and that's where a sprained ankle injury will show up. Plays like that when you have to jump and do some springing right there. You know, we talk about the Hampton defense again. This Morgan State offense came in here averaging 30 points per game.
And they have been pretty much shut down by a very active Hampton defense. Marquay McDaniel back deep to receive this punt at his 43. He'll fair catch it right at that spot, and he wanted to run with it, but he remembered, hey, I already fair caught that one. 35-yard punt, no return. Today's end of quarter stats are brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Look at the numbers through 3 quarters.
Well, look at that balance there. I mean, I think Hampton feels they can win all day long if they can rush for not even 270. If they can rush for 200 yards per game and throw the ball for 200 yards per game and have that type of balance, they feel that they can go a long ways. And
they'll be hard to beat. The first unit offense scored on 8 of its first 9 possessions in the game, and I think that says enough.
And the other one they didn't score on was a missed field goal.
Right.
So they moved the football. You know, they basically had their way with this Bear defense.
Did I ever tell you you're so smart, man, to pull that out? Where'd you go to school?
University High School, Los Angeles, California.
And a lot of room for Van Morgan.
Oh, look at this.
Morgan reversing his field. Can he outrun the defenders? No, he's taken down at the 11, but Van Morgan might have to have it brought back after a 45-yard run because we have a flag down at the 18-yard line of Morgan State.
You know, I think they got him for a hold downfield on the block, but
Brandon Wells made the tackle, by the way.
The good news is that there's a hold.
Block in the back, above the waist. Number 68, doing the run on the offense. 10 yards. The results are still first down.
I mean, the kids, you know, the good news, this is a great run here, by the way. The block happened downfield, so they'll do it from the where it happened, which was downfield. You know, if you got him, you got to let loose there. Good ground, good vision. I mean, is Hampton just becoming tailback view?
That was Terrence Smith once again, and just at the end of that run at the bottom of your screen, you saw Big 68 come across and deliver that illegal blow to the back above the waist. Jerry Cummings is the lone setback behind Antoine Smith. A lot of these second and third teamers in, and Antoine holding on to the ball. Gets away from a blitzing outside linebacker. Jarrell Guyton was coming on the blitz, and Smith showing good feet to get away from that one. And Morgan State saying they have the ball. Let's see what the officials say.
They called him down. Side judge came in and called him down. You know, we talk about Hampton and what all they're trying to do. Well, let's take a look at the Sheridan top 10 rankings. And right now we've got the Hampton Pirates hitting the top. And I'm going to tell you, something is a-brewing for Hampton homecoming. You Pirate fans, you may not want to get too excited about homecoming because Hampton scheduled South Carolina State for their homecoming on October 22nd. That's going to be the showdown of all of black college football. We'll get to the rest of that after this play here.
Cummings on the pitch, and Cummings gets good yardage down inside the 20, or just outside the 20 before he's finally brought down. Give him 7 on that play, setting up third and very short.
So you've got Hampton and South Carolina State, and they're going to play each other. You know, they're going to battle for that MEAC crown there, and it'll be Hampton homecoming down there, and then you've got the rest of the black college football right now.
All right, now Hampton well on its way to starting 4-0, and in its history, recent history anyway, in 93, 98, 99, and last season, each year they started 4-0, they won the MEAC Conference. Here's Van Morgan fighting for extra yardage, and I believe he does have the first down to about the 17-yard line. So move the sticks again. Darius Leak on the tackle.
Yep, and then, you know, as we go back to the Sheridan poll, you know, these are surprise teams right here. Number 4 and number 10 between Bowie State and North Carolina Central. They play each other today, so that's going to be a shootout there. I'm going to tell you, Grambling is being slighted with that number 5 ranking. I mean, their one loss was to Washington State. The way they beat up on some teams, on Alabama A&M, they're going to be reckoning with a team that's falling fast is Alabama State. Starting off number 1 or 2 in the poll, they're falling fast, but that's a showdown down there taking place in North Carolina between Bowie State and North Carolina Central.
Timeout on the field. Hampton, little problem with some personnel. They'll come and discuss things with Coach Joe Taylor, whose team is comfortably in front.
It's easy to plant the first seed, but I intend to do more than that. I cannot be moved. It's the tree I am. I'll surround those with literature so they want to read. I'll support neighborhood schools to help teenagers believe. And I'll work year-long so kids have a voice from which they sing. These are my people and my block. And whatever we take from it, we have to put back. McDonald's, deeply rooted in the community, 365 days a year.
Monsieur, bow tie?
The 265 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
It's the Cola.
35th Annual New York Urban League Football Classic, along with Jay Walker, Joe Torre, Eric Clemens. So glad to be with you here as BET continues its 25th anniversary season. bringing you the best in black college football. And after seeing that Hampton running game, it's hard to argue they might be the best in all of Division I AA with that tandem. And Andrew Patarini coming in once again. This one will be from 36. And that one, he hooked it a little bit too much. It's wide left. So 3 for 5 for Andrew Patarini, the first-team All-America selection from last season. And again, this got plenty of leg. It's always got plenty of distance. It's just a situation of accuracy sometime with it.
You know, and for Patarini, like the rest of black college, I was talking to Shaq Harris before the game, and we were watching the kickers and punters and warm-ups, and we said, you know, that's been the biggest change in black college football over the past 15 years. I mean, going for a 50-yard field goal back when I was coming up was unthought of. You know, if you had 4th and 5 and you were there, you went for it. Now, the special teams and the attention to detail is why I think that the black college football teams are becoming more competitive in the playoffs because they're not getting beat on special teams, and they're starting to just get better recruits.
And this is Nelson on the handoff, and he barely got back to the line of scrimmage at the 21-yard line. And Vernon Bryant bringing him down, the backup defensive end. Kendall Langford ejected from this game for some unsportsmanlike conduct a little bit earlier.
You know, and I think every now and then coaches go for, you know, they go for stats too. They read headlines. Hampton's got a goal. They want to be #1 defense in the nation. I mean, they've got that printed on all their billboards around the school and in the meeting rooms and everything. And that's got, you wonder why do you take out Shepard and all your offense, but you still keep Durant in the game. You still got Whitehurst in there, and Michael West and Bain. All these guys are still in there. When do you substitute the defensive guys unless you're really trying to pad the stats defensively a little bit? And the way you pad stats defensively is keep them out the end zone.
So it'll be 3rd down now for Morgan State and 5 at the 25-yard line. Byron Selby from the shotgun, and on the little delay, plenty of room for Nelson out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Give him 16 yards on that play before he's brought down by Darius Swinton.
You got to give him credit. Normally you'd say it's a blowout, and so these yards don't count, but we just mentioned the fact that Hampton still has their first-team defense out there, so these are some plays they should have done a little bit earlier in the ballgame.
Finally seeing some new numbers out there. Nelson still the lone setback behind Selby, but Darius Swinton, a backup defensive back, is out there. Vaughn Mansfield, another backup at the strong safety spot. And Selby getting it to the near side, has his wide receiver Sean Napper. Napper knocked out of bounds after a pickup of 12. So they'll move the chains once again with just over 10 minutes to go in this one. Coming into this game, Coach Hill said, we believe and we want to control the line of scrimmage with our big offensive line. He finally had found a rotation he was confident in, but when it counted, they couldn't get it done.
That's why you got to see what happens in the game. You can't always believe what you hear. You know, on paper, football's easy, but judging what's going to happen physically is the hard part. They got a nice double move pattern going on here.
And Selby floated that one up a little bit, and it was underthrown. Otherwise, Dickens had burned his cornerback counterpart, Pat Preston, a 6'1 sophomore out of Rocky Mount, Virginia, on the double move. He was well behind them, but had to wait for that pass.
And that's just a timing thing. You see Selby, the ball should have been in the air now, thrown further upfield because he's got a 3-yard cushion downfield. You can't ask for a better route there, but when you're underthrow the ball, you give the defensive back an opportunity to get back in the play.
And even with the backups, they are playing pretty much man-to-man coverage and showing blitz here on 3rd down on the delay. And it's Nelson bouncing off tackles inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Pat Preston, one of the men to bring him down after a 16-yard pickup.
This Bear team, you know, anything they can do positive gives you some stuff that you could try and build on. Team that's still trying to gel together offensively and learn what they can and cannot do and what plays they can have success with. I mean, this is their first conference game. So Coach Hill said, you know, normally we play Hampton and we've already played 2 conference games by the time we get to them, but this is our first conference game, so it's not do or die for us like in previous years.
And that one looked to be deflecting right off the arms of Kelvin Dickens. And I have to take another look at it to see if he dropped it or whether the defensive back got a hand in there to knock it away from him.
I mean, Dickens is running. Looks like it's a perfectly thrown football. He's got to have that. I mean, there's no DB there. He's just, he's just having a tough day at the office, and it just happens to be on BET in front of the rest of the country.
Pat Preston in there on the coverage, and again, he was beaten. Dickens just a drop that time. So Dickens, I'm sure, is back in the huddle saying, give it to me one more time. I've beaten him twice in this possession. Let me beat him one more time. Greg Nelson taking the pitch on the option, and Nelson is met by, who else? Justin Durant from the middle linebacker spot. I've said that a few times tonight.
I mean, he really plays that position the way it's supposed to be played. I mean, he reads his keys from the offensive lineman, whatever they give him. He's always flowing around the football.
Jason Jackson, look at him last week. A school record 251 yards, and today, well, only 4. Napper was in motion, and this is Nelson. Big hole off the left side, cut it back to the middle, and got down to the 21-yard line. Picks up first down yardage before Durant brought him down after a 12-yard pickup, and he is closing in on a 100-yard day.
It's been a very quiet 100-yard day.
Yeah, but a lot of it in the second half when this one is pretty much out of hand.
But give Nelson a lot of credit for, staying in there, and he's starting to limp off the field there, which couldn't be a good sign because you still have the rest of the MEAC schedule coming up. You want to stay healthy at this point. Game's out of reach. You want to stay healthy.
Nelson limps off the field with 89 yards on 11 carries. And Jason Jackson back in the game off the blitz. And oh my goodness, Justin Durant could see nothing but green in front of him. Let's go to the third man in our broadcast team. Joe Torre, where you at now in this massive stadium?
Man, I am over here with Hampton University. You can see it's a blowout. They are cheering their team on to score more points. Got the mascot. He trying to score. Hype fans. It's been a hell of a ball game, if I can say that. And man, pride, college school pride is just something else, man. Especially when you got fans like this backing you up. How can you lose? Hampton is going to be 4-0. What else can I say? They doing their thing.
And the fans have lots of reason to celebrate. And a great city in the area to celebrate in. A lot of the tailgaters still outside, still cooking the barbecue and doing all kinds of things outside here at this Urban League Classic. Jason Jackson, by the way, came into the game to pick up nice yardage on that run off the right side. And now Craig Nelson has come back onto the field, so that's good to see. Shook off the little injury, and Nelson again 89 yards on 11 carries so far in the game. Many of those yards coming, of course, in the second half when this one was pretty much out of reach. There's Nelson trying to bounce that one outside, and does. Still on his feet. Trying to fight for the end zone. Did he get it?
They gave
yes, he did.
Good job. Good run. Good run. That's that stuff that we came to see. That's what the folks paid their money for. We wanted to see Coleman and Daniels doing that, and Jackson and Nelson doing that. It took us to the fourth quarter before Morgan State got into the act, but that's a good run there. Did you see how many defenders he made miss?
Quite a few on that run as he broke it to the outside on the far side of the football field. And that's what Coach Hill had hoped for earlier in this game, to get some control on the ground. Nelson, 12 carries now, 101 yards with that touchdown, 78 of his 101 yards in the second half. The extra point is good. James Meade puts that one through, and Craig Nelson gives Morgan State a little bit more respectability with the touchdown run. 44-14 here in the fourth.
Extra long Philly cheesesteak. New at Sonic. Come into Sonic for the new extra long Philly cheesesteak. It's everything you love about a classic cheesesteak, piled high and made better on Sonic's own extra long bun. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Earn a college degree in the U.S. Navy and proudly display your school colors. Navy, accelerate your life.
G6 Coupe. Pontiac, designed for action.
What's so special about Gerber's peas? They're picked only when their tenderness and sweetness is just right for baby. Then Gerber's precious peas are washed 3 times and gently cooked to lock in that fresh picked taste. From the field to the spoon, no one babies their food like Gerber. Shouldn't your baby be a Gerber baby? Now more moms prefer the fragrance of Gerber Grins and Giggles Milk and Honey Lotion over Johnson's Nourishing Milk Lotion. Get lots of grins and plenty of giggles.
Morgan State getting on the board on a Greg Nelson touchdown run, 44-14, 7:07 to go. The hands team in for Morgan State as they expect an onside kick from Thomas Beese. Bain is back deep in case he kicks away, and he does. And Travaris Bain feels it at his 4.
Better go down pretty quick. You don't want to return any kicks with your hands team in there.
True.
Marquay McDaniel and Faulkner is your biggest guys on the field. Take a knee. Normally they tell those guys just to fair catch the ball.
Today's New York Urban League Football Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 nonstop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country.
And good to see Craig Nelson getting in the end zone. You know, he's another one of them homeboys. He's from Queens. You know, getting a chance to play close to home in front of the folks. Scoring a touchdown, that's what it's all about.
And a lot of second-teamers, including Jerry Cummings in, number 9 at the halfback spot for the Hampton Pirates, who are up by 30 with just under 7 minutes to go. And Antoine Smith on the keeper loses his footing a little bit, and he is brought down by Timmy Omatade, the big defensive end, the redshirt junior, 6'4", 265. Haven't called his name much, and he's one of the leaders on that defensive line for Morgan State.
You know, when you got teams rushing for 200-plus yards on you, that normally means the DBs and linebackers are making the tackles, and the D linemen aren't making enough tackles.
And all Hampton wants to do is run some crisp, solid offense here, follow assignments, keep that ball in bounds, and run time off the clock. And move on to 4-0 and make it 11 straight regular season victories. And that time we had Jerry Cummings on the pitch play. Was brought down. I don't think he got back to the original line of scrimmage. In fact, gained only about 1 before he was brought down by Omatade once again. So it'll be 3rd and long for Antoine Smith and the Hampton University backup offense here. Two receivers split down to the near side, bottom of your screen. And the pitch play. This time going to Van Morgan. And Morgan met hard as he crossed the 20-yard line. And we have a flag down on the play. And a Hampton University player indicating holding against Morgan State. We'll see. Hampton University remaining scheduled, Jay, and Delaware State coming up.
Much improved team under Coach Lavin. They're very competitive. As a matter of fact, they have to focus because Delaware State was the last MEAC team to beat Hampton. They upset them last year. October 22nd is what we talked about right here. South Carolina State is coming to Hampton, and then they got to play Bethune-Cookman. And Bethune is one of the teams in the MEAC that matches up well against Hampton. I talked to Coach Taylor about that just because they've got enough team speed to give Hampton trouble. And, you know, if you look at the stumbling blocks there, that last stretch of the season, if you talk about from the 22nd all the way through the 12th, that's the toughest part of the season they've got. South Carolina State, Bethune-Cookman, and FAMU in back-to-back weeks. You know, they got to stay healthy, but they got to get by Delaware State first because Del State pulled off the upset of the season last year when they knocked off the Pirates.
Cummings is a halfback. We had a face mask penalty against the defense, which gave Hampton University first down. And now about the Morgan State Bears remaining schedule.
Now, Morgan is typically a team that finishes strong late in the year. They got Bethune-Cookman coming up, going to be a tough game. Bethune-Cookman got into a shootout with Norfolk State today. Then they've got to go ahead and they got to take on North Carolina A&T, the Prince George's Classic. That's going to be a good game. They got to take on the Bison, which is their Beltway rival. And then they finish up with Norfolk and South Carolina State. So Morgan normally gets a little bit of momentum around the middle of the schedule. That's why they've been able to get 500 season, playing 500 football. But off to this slow start, it's going to be a rebuilding process for the Bears, but I'll tell the rest of the conference, you better beat the Bears this year, because next year this team will be more mature and they'll start to understand what it takes to win, and I think they'll be contenders.
We'll see A&T, of course, next week, Circle City Classic against Tennessee State.
That's all you're going to hear. You don't know about that. Aggie Pride is coming to Indianapolis.
Aggie Pride.
They say it just like that. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride. You'll school me on that.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not too well liked in Greensboro, North Carolina.
No?
I mean,
I can't imagine you not being well liked everywhere.
After 440 yards and 4 touchdowns, plus a game winner in overtime on their homecoming, I can understand.
All right. We also call him the legend around here, folks, because he'll spit out those stats from days going by. But we love you, man. Love you.
Thank you. And that was on BET.
That's right.
I was one of those guys. That's why I can sit up here with such confidence. When the lights were rolling, I was playing my best.
That's right. And there are people, I'm a witness to it, folks. We walk around stadiums around this great nation of ours, and people he played against 10 years ago. Notice Jay Walker, the ambassador. Another first down picked up, and that means that Hampton can run off more clock. 3:34 to go. The Pirates about to make it 11 straight regular season wins.
This portion of the New York Urban League Classic has been delivered to you by Domino's, the pizza delivery experts. Get the door. It's Domino's. And by Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Coleman and company, the Hampton Pirates, comfortably in front with 3:34 to go. After a couple of pre-snap penalties, it'll be 1st and 20 for Hampton University. They run it right into the middle of the line of scrimmage to keep that clock going. Approaching 3:20 and counting here in the 35th New York Urban League Football Classic.
There he is, Joe Taylor. One of the coaches, he's got the longest tenure in the MEAC Conference. And, one thing about this, their motto is permission to win.
Right.
And what they're saying now is, we won a conference championship. We won a Black College National Championship. It's time for us to make Black college football proud. We want to be the first national champion from a historically Black college since the 1978 FAMU Rattlers did it. They won the inaugural 1AA National Championship. And he's definitely putting the pieces in place to do that. Regular season is one thing, and Lover Conference and then the MEAC, one of the most competitive conferences you're going to see in 1AA football, haven't fared well in the playoffs. And I think that this Pirate team has gotten closer and closer each year. When you look on the other sideline there, you got, Donald Hill-Ely. It's tough to be rebuilding a program and in the middle of a rebuilding season. So my hat's off to him, but the job that he has done, and they've got enthusiasm around Morgan, which they haven't had for decades.
We always knew that they could score the ball, but, they always say the old adage, the defense wins championships. Hampton has shown all year it has played excellent defense, and Morgan State was not able to solve it, really, in this game when it counted. Antoine Smith showing some nifty footwork, and Smith trying to stretch that ball forward and pick up another first down. Instead, he's forced out of bounds after a 15-yard pickup.
I like the effort there because I really wanted him to get that first down too. I think the whole stadium wanted to get that first down. But Antoine Smith, he's coming here in a tough position to get in there. He just have to run the football, and because of the respect that the two coaches have for each other, they're not going to throw the ball. So we didn't get to see what Smith could do today.
Tell you what, this is a very unique setting for a football game. Crowd maybe 40,000 plus shows up for this every year, but a lot of that 40,000 likes to hang out and party at the tailgate stuff outside of the stadium, comes in at halftime to watch the Battle of the Bands, and then maybe catches a little bit of third quarter and goes back out to the party outdoors.
And I'm going to go be with him in a little bit, so I'm not mad at him.
So folks, if you're watching, just to get some food ready for a couple of brothers, okay? More the fourth quarter when we come back. 1:50 to go. Hampton ahead by 30 here in the New York Urban League Football Classic here on BET. Handoff goes inside to Nelson, who slams forward for a few yards up to the 8-yard line. So Hampton going to move to 4-0, and again, when they do that, it usually means bad news for the rest of the MEAC. In 93, 98, 99, and 04, they started 4-0 and won the MEAC Conference Championship. And they'll be 4-0 this time around as well.
But the key is, can they finish? Will they avoid that late season swoon? Had they not swoon towards the end of the year a couple years ago, they would have had a couple of conference championships.
Well, that's dangerous territory for your quarterback to be running that ball. Today's player of the game is brought to you by Jeep. Trail-rated capability only in a Jeep 4x4. And he is part of the A-team. Alonzo Coleman, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that Hampton ground game dominant again today.
Now, if there's ever a time where we can split a game ball, it should go between Daniels and Coleman. Between the two of them, 25 carries, 218 yards. This Hampton offensive line averaged 8 yards per carry. I mean, that's a great job. So if there's ever a time you split a game ball, just cut that one down the middle and give it to Daniels as well as Coleman.
Going deep downfield into double coverage, and lucky that one wasn't intercepted, was Selby. And now today's play of the game delivered to you by Domino's, the pizza delivery experts. Get the door. It's Domino's.
Yeah, there was Hampton setting the tone earlier what Morgan State was going to face all day. That was a heavy dose of Alonzo Coleman and Ardell Daniels. And they, on the very first series, Alonzo Coleman made his presence felt in this football game.
On the option pitch play, showing some nice speed and the burst and the moves into the secondary to get in 41 yards for the score. And on 2nd down and 10, 32 seconds to go. Byron Selby and company trying to end it on a positive note. And this is the draw play. And that's Jason Jackson. Jackson getting close to first down yardage. They'll stop the clock to move the chains if he indeed has it. Well, they didn't this time, I guess. They're just going to keep it going. Maybe he doesn't have a first down. Well, a little bit short.
That's the clock they're looking at, that game clock. So everybody's on the same page here.
Now they're waving for it to stop. They give him the first down with 6 seconds to go. And this will be the 11th consecutive regular season win for Coach Taylor and his Hampton University Pirates. And we get a little movement before. Oh, that's game over. So Joe Taylor and company get a big 30-point victory in the New York Urban League Classic. We'll be back to wrap it up in a moment.
Today's New York Urban League Classic has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 nonstop daily flights.
Side of the